Another one bites the dust. Another one does. Hello? 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 How's it going? How's it going? I literally been napping all day. Things man, I'm sick. I am sick. I can feel myself being sick, and it is just horrible feeling. It's not corona. I got the PCR test, it was negative. So not sure, but definitely have a drain in the energy area. I can feel myself like I am sick. It is something that is physically happening to my body, and there's no lying about it. If you guys have seen me, you can tell I'm not sure. Same here. You sick too, Crypto Benjamin? Bajan, aka Corey. What's up, Corey? Teddy, yo, Glitter Days 28. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining me today. Just going through some of my charts just to see. I saw a terrarium up 25% while everything else is down. Seems like Saitama is also down, but Lily, guys, 40% up today. Lily, that is crazy. Maybe I did a mistake not getting into Lily earlier. So next time it leaves the Bollinger Bands, I'm gonna definitely keep my eye on Lily. I think it's very early for them as well. Seems like Brad Beatty has some plans. Maybe he's taking Lily somewhere that even I can't recall. But definitely a big change for Lily Finance. It's just outside the Bollinger Band now. So if you had bought in around the threes, great time to sell, right? So very, very nice thing. Hope you're feeling better. Thank you, Crypto Life. I appreciate that. Getting sick sucks, dude. Absolutely. I woke up today. It was 8 in the morning. Then my wife was like, "You're sick. You're sick," and I'm like, "I'm sick. I'm sick. I understand." And she just doped me up with some. She gave me NyQuil in the day, and I'll tell you, taking NyQuil during the day, like there is some things like NyQuil make you real loopy, and I definitely am real loopy. What's up, H Moob Yaj? Nice to see you. Legal Alien. Been watching you in every single streamer's channel that I can, man. You're making some big moves. I like it. GG, 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 GG. Absolutely. Ganja Goons gang in the house. Nice to see everybody. Rorsch, I bought into Terra at 41, hoping to see Shinja make some moves in the positive direction. Can't talk too much about Shimba. Oh my God, I can feel these pills. What did you give me, wifey? What did you give me? Shinja. So Shinja, yeah, absolutely. Can't talk too much about Shinja, as I am now associated with Shinja, so I can't do any type of market manipulation. But just looking at the chart, definitely going sideways. Definitely need a catalyst. We know that Cliff is doing tier 3 exchanges throughout, so that's the end goal. Get well soon, thank you. So with what's happened is KuCoin, Crypto.com, Wazir X, right? So these exchanges have a relationship with Shinja, but unless Shinja gets their daily volume up to the 20 million, 30 million, like this daily volume, guys, this daily volume needs to go up a lot. And the only way we're going to do that is if we get these smaller exchanges, so tier 3 exchanges, not smaller exchanges, but tier 3. So that's the goal. Hopefully getting the token more accessible across these exchanges, especially hitting some of these markets like the Indian market, the Filipino market, the Asian market, the Middle East, right? So these are areas that Cliff has flat out said in the AMA, this is what he's targeting, and that's the goal. Tracy G, good afternoon, Ganja Goons. Ganja Goons in the house. Has been a long time. Feel like I haven't streamed in forever, and it just feels so weird being so disconnected. It's like in the back of my mind, I'm like, there's Ganja Goons there. There's Ganja Goons. They want you. They want you. Get over there. Smack that. Wait. I think there's something wrong here. There's something wrong. If you're sick, Teddy, get some garlic cloves, chop it up into pieces, and you can swallow and drink it with water. Garlic contains allicin, which boosts your immune system. Bro, Daniel, I have a freaking story. So I used to sell vacuum cleaners, right? As a college job, I used to sell Kirby vacuums. And they're like $2,000 vacuums, and you go into people's houses and you do a demo. That's what they call them. You do a demo and you pitch them this crazy die-cast aluminum 1 horsepower engine, vacuum, and the company is actually owned by Warren Buffett, but it's this like grassroots type sales that you do. It's very similar to Cutco knives, any type of these like things where you get a demo in your house and they try to sell you something, right? So I was that guy. And at one of these demos, the guy I was doing the demo with, he comes up to me. He's like, Teddy, you sound sick. You are sick. I'm gonna help you out. There's this thing called in the Russian way. There's a medicine. You should try this medicine. I'm like, okay, yo, Alexi, I'm 100% down to try this medicine. What's the medicine, right? So he takes me to a liquor store and he grabs this like 375 milliliter bottle of ginger brandy, and he's like, Teddy, you drink the entire bottle, you'll be good. This is young Teddy. This is young Teddy, like who's just turned 22, or not even 22. I think I was still underage at this. Oh my God, I don't think I can share the story. Breaking rules, breaking rules. Oh God, oh God. Hey, it's okay. I'm from Asia. In Asia, the drinking age is 18. Regardless, I'm at this demo and I've just downed a 375 milliliter bottle of ginger brandy. And I'll tell you, going down, you could feel it killing everything. You know, it's like, oh yeah, the ginger real good. And then it's like, you're an hour into the demo. You're feeling it. You're 100% feeling it. You're like, bro, I'm feeling it. I demo doesn't even matter. I want to go get some more, brandy or something. And it's just like, oh my God. Yeah. So to this day, yeah, ginger brandy, real good. Real good. I remember that demo forever. We had that wife, we had the husband like dying like the entire time. They're like, you guys want grilled cheese? I'm gonna make you grilled cheese. You guys are great. Like, you got my wife onto this. I'm like, we made vacuuming fun. Like, trust me, no one wants to vacuum, bro. Even me as a sales guy, I'm like, another house, another room I have to vacuum. Are you serious? But it's like getting that sale, you get that $1,800 sale. You're like, yeah. And eventually we got to so many sales that they were going to send us to Cancun and stuff. Yo, Delroy, what's going on? But unfortunately, I never took it. So it was quite crazy. How's working with Shinobi and Cliff? Amazing, amazing group. And it's not just Cliff, it's like his entire. I'm gonna try and mute anytime I cough, so that way you guys don't hear it. It sounds horrible. But yeah, amazing team. Like, it's not just Cliff. Like, he's got development groups across the board. Like, he's literally trying to build a corporation, and I'm witnessing a startup go to a corporation, and I'm part of that move to help them go from, hey, we're only X amount of people. Now we have 18 something people in Dubai. We got 45 something people in the community. It's like, yo, how do you keep that momentum going while also securing your foundation across the different paths that Shinja has, right? Hello, Teddy. Ganja Goons in the house. You should do an AMA with Cliff on your channel. Yeah, I guess I could do an AMA with Cliff on my channel, but it's like, I already feel like I know everything about Shinja. So it's like, I'd have to find a way to make it seem like I don't know anything about Shinja. I don't know anything and how to do the AMA in that front, When you did the vacuum demo, did you show them the dead skin that comes out, bro? By the way, Kirby vacuums straight power moves, right? So what they do is they put a white filter into the demo area. So every time you vacuum, anything that hits the white, it shows up like dirt. So we were like sales gimmick to the book, right? So we're like, yo, what's your best vacuum? And we'd have wives come out that have like 3 vacuum cleaners. They got the Hoover, the Dyson, they got everything, right? So we're like, okay, you think the Dyson's the best? Okay, go over the spot as many times as you want and till you think it's clean. So they'll get there. They get the vacuum. They're going, going crazy with the vacuum, like really 100%. Gone over it like 200 times in like a minute, right? So the wife comes up to us and she'd be like, yeah, it's 100% clean. I'm like, okay. And then I'm only going to do one swoop and one back. And I do that. And then on that white parchment, the tiniest amount of dust comes up, right? So it's like, boom. I'm like, so you think your vacuum cleans? Our vacuum cleans. Because you will get to the point with the Kirby where nothing shows up on the white. So it was like, it was so easy when it was that vacuum cleaner versus vacuum cleaner, because you're really putting the technology of vacuums next to each other. But I got so into selling vacuums, it got crazy. They wanted me to open up like my own store, do all this. I'm like, bro, I'm not even 20 yet, and you want me like I'm still going to college, bro. Like you got to understand where I'm coming from. Samer scammer, serial spammer. Wait, what? Serial scammer? What am I reading? What am I reading? Tony F. That's nice, like a family, 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 family. Let's go, Teddy, cereal armpit sweater. Yo, that was back in the day. I didn't even know like my condition for sweatiness, like hyperhidrosis. Like it was real bad, bro. It was real bad. That was me before I knew what was wrong with my body. Yo, what's up? What's up, TX Tornado? Steve the Canadian. Nice. Thank you. I love I had too much ganja. Is that even a thing? Don't you just go to sleep if you have too much? I sold Kirby Dish Network and the Maze products a long time ago. Now I have friends. Chayo, nice to see you. What the heck are you wearing, bro? 424 represent Chayo. No, nowadays I hear solars, like selling solar packages, being the guy at Home Depot that eventually gets people. And if you guys don't know what Home Depot is, it's like a home improvement store. You're like Toretto family. I don't know who Toretto is. I don't watch that much American. My wife got me this Gatorade. You know, I always reuse bottles, so now I got this juiced. This is not a promotion. Yo, Gatorade ain't paying me for this. All right, juiced Gatorade. It seems pretty good. It was funny. I was having some critiques. They were like, Teddy, you run a crypto channel, but like I watch your live streams, and half the time you don't even talk about crypto. What the heck are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I turn on the stream and I just talk crypto, but I guess it's not. Teddy, tell us more about Shinja. Screw Saitama. Wait, what's happening with Saitama? Did the thing? Yo, by the way, hit that like button, Tony F. Thank you very much. Kontama community supports you. Awesome, awesome. I've heard great things about Kontama, Bobatama. Like literally, you guys seem to be going crazy. You need some ganja tea, bro. I don't need ganja tea. I got myself Herb FX, bro. I can just go through this, and I don't even think that THC Delta 9 THC helps in getting over a cold. I don't know. Maybe it does. I did not use it today. I've just been on cough medicine. My wife gave me NyQuil, and I fell asleep till like I literally woke up at 8 a.m. and there was just so much phlegm and all this mucus, and I'm like, something's wrong. I'm like, get away from me, get away from me. I don't want my baby to get sick. And by baby, I mean my wife's pregnant, right? Oh, by the way, I know the gender. I know the gender of the baby. I know the gender of the baby. She got the blood test done. I waited the 7 days. I was in Dubai. I've been pestering her every day. I'm like, did you get the results? Did you get? I really need to know. I really need to know. And I'm like, I think back. I'm like, actually, wait. I don't care what the gender of the baby is, as long as it's a happy, healthy baby, you know. And that's what it came down to. But it's like just getting to that aspect, that next step, and just be like, what's the gender? What's the gender? You know, it's quite crazy. But I do know the gender as of now. What up, Teddy? Yo, Crypto Norvell, nice to see you. So Toretto from Fast and Furious racing movies. Vin Diesel. Okay, I know Vin Diesel. I know Vin Diesel. Yeah, I like Fast and the Furious. I've seen it. It's very good. Solar sales is good, but cars is bringing all the money with all those markups. Well, it's funny with cars, right? Because they say that it's only the used cars that people make money on. It's not even the new cars. Like that seems crazy to me. Yo, Terra up 25%. Is it still pumping? Are we gonna break the 5? Because we're not even outside the Bollinger Band. A lot of green candles, a lot of kicker signs. Oh my god. Gatorade. I like this better than just talking about crypto. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. Is this a crypto channel? When Dojo Swap? What do you mean, bro? Have you not seen Dojo Swap yet? Get in there, boy. Get in there. Get in there. Let me see. Yeah, it's still up. I constantly keep checking. I'm like, is it up? Okay, it's up. Is it up? It's up. I'm like, when is it going to go down? It still works. We preloaded the tokens in there, so you'll now see Shinja. A lot of people in the community complained that, hey, why do I have to import the Shinja contract address? And I go back, I'm like, wait, why are you guys importing the Shinja contract address? This is such a manual move that we can automate, throw it on Dojo Swap, and it'll be super simple to get into there. So here's BSC. I think you guys have seen Polygon as well. So each one we went with that simplicity look, which is what we went for, right? So you have that recognition where you're like, okay, I know what a swap box looks like. Okay, I can connect here, I can change here. This is where I find various things. So that's the type of uh, things that we did with Dojo Swap. So a lot of people read that and they were like, oh, they reskinned Uniswap, and this FUD has been addressed by Cliff as well, right? So there is no reskinning. There is recognizability that you're having where you're like, wait, I've seen this box before. I know how to use this. And that's the goal here. We want to keep our users coming back to Dojo Swap, where Dojo Swap turns into a Uniswap thing, turns into a Pancake Swap thing. You no longer have to go to other liquidity pairings. And hopefully when tokens launch on our platform, you realize, hey, they have their own liquidity pair. They're paired with Shibnobi and here, so that's really the difference between Uniswap and Dojo Swap. And we're not sharing a liquidity pool. We didn't skin. We didn't, we're not porting your traffic through Uniswap in any way. The only thing we had done is we used that Uniswap v2 protocol initially to show the burns on DEX tools, but this has now changed. Yo, let me just catch up with the comments, but definitely check out Dojo Swap. I recommend the easiest path to use Dojo Swap because it does do a 1% taxation. Of that 1% taxation, there's a 0.25% that's literally burned. So you're literally burning Shinja tokens as you use Dojo Swap. So if you're trying to get any of the tokens listed on Dojo Swap, 100% go through. I know there's an issue with 3.0 DAO. Sounds like they're having something going on their end. We're trying to work through them, but I believe the rest are ready to go. And even Cliff has released more that aren't pre-listed. Working with the team soon to get the entire list. But we're already at, Cliff said in the AMA, we're already above 10. And by the way, I don't know if any of you guys saw, but I did wake up at 8 or 10. I forget when I woke up, but I did the community, the Shinja. It wasn't Photoshop, GGG represent. I 100% got you guys. I don't forget. This is where I came from, boys. This is where I came from. It was YouTube. It was the Shinja Army, Rodney, Sandstorm, Tammy, right? These are the people that really helped progress my my rankings on YouTube. So I'll always remember you guys, man, no matter what. Nice to see you as well, Teddy. Hope all is well. All is well as it can be. I'm definitely recovering. Saitareality scam people's wallets being blacklisted for no reason. There's little liquidity for Saitareality. So this is something I've spoke on. To me personally, I feel like, wait, let me just make sure I'm not like crazy behind on the chat. Don't type anything crazy. Let me catch up. All right. So real quick. So Saitareality. I personally feel Saitama has already proven to me that they know how to do a swap. They can make a swap iOS or Android application. They can do the Ethereum to Saitama swap. They can do Saitama to other token swap. They have proven that to me. Where I get lost is they already have the router, they have the network, they have everything figured out. So why are they having a tough time launching a private token when they've already launched tokens on the swap? This area is a gray area that I literally do not know the answers to. I can only assume what's going on. And the first thing I know you guys are going to hate me, and I'm not even trying to like send FUD or anything. One second. I'm not even trying to send FUD or anything, but like it has to be a liquidity thing at this point because we know they can list. We know they can put tokens on there. We know that we've seen that swap working. Regardless of what you think of Saitama, the people that had the Saitamask app working, they have shown us they've been able to swap from Saitama to Impact XP back to Saitama. I can't speak on removing those funds off Saitamask, but I can speak on whether that swap was shown to be working or not. And I believe they did prove that to us. So when it comes to launching a private token, like a token that's not going to be listed anywhere else, but only on Saitamask, that is a gray area that I just don't know why that is. I hope that that transparency comes ASAP, and that's literally the goal. Dojo Swap working before Saitamask, well, literally, and not only Dojo Swap. Cliff has already thrown out indicators that we guys. I have met the blockchain team. There's a real blockchain, like going from token to Shibnobi coin. Like it is gonna get crazy. I've even met the wallet team, right? They work alongside each other, and it's like, whoa, there's there's a lot of geniuses that, like, you think blockchain development, and in the past, even when I was helping the other tokens, I'm only thinking blockchain development in the sense of like, I'm a newbie coming in and I'm trying to ramp up a team. It is so different when that team has experience because they built so many other things that they're like, hey, Teddy, this is how this works. This is what you need to know. And then boom, and going through the course and getting that knowledge transfer. And it's like, wait, what? Like, oh my God, you guys are like opening up the book. Like I've learned so many things now. I can literally do this anywhere. So it's been crazy. It's been crazy. Literally associating myself with the Shibnobi devs and even the gaming devs. Amazing guys. People in Saitama losing money with Saitareality transactional error or something. Oh yeah. Legally, and I went to a BMW dealer that marks up our crazy 90K car. That's why I go to Mercedes, man. Screw BMW. No, I'm just kidding. I like BMWs too. Yo, Teddy, how are you feeling? I'm feeling better. Definitely still a little nasally. Still a little got a little bit of cough in there. We'll see. Did you find the name? Yo, I sent my mom baby names and she threw down every, like, my wife liked a few names as well. And we gave them to my mom, and my mom's like, yo, these names are like old school names. Like get some generational stuff in their future. So tell us already, boy or girl. What do you think? Boy or girl? What do you feel? What should a teddy be graced with? What should my presence be? 545, 552. What the hell? I'm 7 minutes behind on the comments. How did this happen? I'm a Saitama holder, but can Saitama release a functional app or something really work that made 13 million Saitareality bug? Some guy made 13 million with Saitareality bug. Wait, explain that. What was that your country accent? Was that your country accent? I don't know. I don't know accents. I'm really bad at accents. Teddy, Tyler, CEO of AMP was wearing an AMP shirt with Wag Me spelled using the AMP logo. Any connections you heard of? Bro, watch Oscar Ramos. Oscar Ramos, big AMP guy, 100% support. Teddy Ganja loves Oscar Ramos. Every time I go to an Oscar Ramos thing, I always type that because I don't use my the crypto future account to lurk in these channels because I ain't trying to take away from any other YouTuber, right? So still using the Lively Void account. That's usually me or my wife, depending on what time it is. So if you see my wife type in here and she's on Lively Void, you know it's her. Yo, Teddy Ganja, how you doing? Shinja Nut, nice to see you. Tony F. Kontama chart is looking bullish. Yo, let me check out Kontama because this is like the third time I've seen the comment Kontama. No, I can feel myself loopy. I can't tell if you guys can tell I'm loopy. Like I can feel it in my head. And it's like it feels like a I don't know. I don't want to say like a weed high, but like a very relaxed state. Like I feel relaxed and I feel like I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yo, Teddy, what up? Hey, Tangy, nice to see you. Tangy, I got your book. I got your card game. I legit gave it to my wife, and she's already taken a look. You know, if she comes out with her own card game, I'd be like, Tangy's the one. Tangy made her start this card game. Goon Gang, stand up, Shinja baby. Hey, Teddy, how are you? Nekar, nice to see you. I've been following you guys, man. I see a lot of you guys and all the other streamers, and I love seeing that community support. Teddy, the smartest man on YouTube. No way. There's a lot of people smarter than me. I've met people smarter than me. Hey, Miss Lauren, nice to see you. Teddy, maybe you should help Saitama. I will, if Saitama needs help, reach out to me. Shibnobi CTO will gladly help you out. Don't know what it is. Don't know if it's a router issue. Don't know if it's a network issue. But I've seen both things. They've talked about, hey, the network is expanding. Networks don't expand, but regardless, the servers are normalizing. Servers don't normalize, but regardless, I believe they're gonna get somewhere because even with Dojo Swap, right? One of the main things you look at is CPU utilization, memory usage. These are the things that slow down an app or make an app work quicker. If your CPU utilization is below 30%, your app is running great. If your memory, the maximum it's using is like 8 GB, your app is running great. Because most of these memory, I don't even know if you guys want me to go into that detail, but it's like there's so many things that you can do on the server. I just need to know. Just tell me what's going on. That's all I want to know. I don't care. I want you guys to succeed. Scott, Herman, and Justin were live talking on it. Oh yeah, Brew. bro. What did I just say? Oh my god. Shivalingam, get me better. I believes. Yo, by the way, Emily found 4 more. I still haven't gotten time. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to do these Monday. I still have the 5 little Shivalingams here. I'm gonna get those out. I still have Gingy and Dan Fitzpatrick Shivalingam. I'm gonna get those out. But Emily found 4 more that I guess I dropped in my suitcase. So I got 4 more Shivalingams, the pebble ones to give away. Tammy got 2 of the big ones, right? So I've seen hers as well. Yo, I need to catch up with the chat. I'm so behind. If I miss your comment, 100%, I still respect you. Please type it again. I will read it. Oh, that's another thing, bro. I am so behind on comments on YouTube. Like, this is a thing I want to do. Here we go again. Here I am. ADHD, real bad, real bad. ADHD is real bad. Okay, 1 second. What was I doing? Okay, I want to show you, like, I'm so behind on comments on YouTube because I literally, after the stream is done, I'm gonna go through pages and pages of this because, like, it's been a while, boys. It's been a while. Oh God, I used to keep up so well with this, and I went to Dubai, and it all went back. It all went downhill. And then I was talking about Kontama. Miss Lauren, I see you. I see you. $2. What are bots? Is this something all should have? What are bots? I mean, what type of bot, really? Volt Inu Play to Earn is out today. Hit the like button, please. Yo, D the Great, thank you for the $10 donation. Miss Lauren, thank you for the $2 donation. And Crypto Burn in the house comes out of nowhere. Congrats, brother. Once again, I'm about to go check this AMA out. Yes, please. Let me know. Let me know. I would love a Shivalingam, Teddy. I got 4 of them left, so yeah, I need to find out how to give them away. Or maybe I'll just choose people in the chat today, and you can reach out to me. What's happening, Ganja Goons gang? Let's go. 808 Crypto. How's Hawaii, bro? Ganja girl triplets. Boy, a lot of people feeling boy. Girl, a lot of people feeling girl. So you guys know. So before I even get into this, so my wife is a big spiritualist, like, person, right? Like, she 100%. Mercedes AMG vehicles are being marked up over 100K. I love Mercedes. I have a Mercedes S550 myself, bro. Don't even tell me that. As soon as Mercedes comes out with a battery operated one, I'm 100% get it. But another thing I found out right before I came up, my wife was showing me some article on Elon Musk, and I'm like, bro, Elon Musk looks Asian. And she's like, wait, you didn't know Elon Musk is Asian? He's half Asian. I'm like, is this true? Is this true? I don't know. Now I feel like I'm being stereotypical for no reason. But a crazy story. You see, ADHD, I can feel it. And it's even worse with the cough medicine because I can see myself. I'm like, yo, you're drifting, Teddy. You drifting. Your mind's drifting. So my wife is very superstitious, and literally, what happened is we got a package, and in this package, we didn't order anything. We literally hadn't received anything, but my mom gets a package, and it's a pink cat. It's a pink cat, and it's like just on her doorstep. And my mom calls me that day, and she's like, "Hey, Teddy," but she calls me something else. But she's like, "Teddy, we got this sign, and I think the first baby that you're gonna have is gonna be a girl because there's a random pink cat on my doorstep. I don't know why it's there." And this is before, like, me and Emily were trying to get pregnant. We didn't even know anything about this pink cat thing. So Emily heard about the pink cat, and she doesn't believe it. She's like, "What do you mean? It must have been addressed to them. They must have." Oh my. They must have addressed the pink cat to them, or done something. Why else would there be a pink cat at the doorway? And my mom's like, "This is a sign from God. Like, your first baby is going to be a girl. I just know it. It's going to be our grandmother. Our grandmother's coming back into the family." And I'm like, okay. So we actually drove down to a I don't know, a medium, I guess. He's a medium. And we get to the medium, and he's also a fortune teller. So he flat out sits Emily down, and he knows that, hey, we've been trying to have kids for about 6 months, 5 months, right? So he's like, "I think you're going to have a child. I believe the child is going to be, twins of some sort. And I'm also feeling that it's a girl." And a follow-up to this, the same medium comes up to us, and he's like, "I'm feeling like you're going to have the baby in end of September or beginning of October." And Emily, Emily's a very big believer, you know, and I ain't gonna deny her anything. So I'm listening to it, and literally the guy says all these things. So Emily goes, tells her dad. Her dad's like, "Oh, I'm gonna start exercising, get ready for the twins." The craziest part is, like, we get the Shivalingam in our family. So now many people have found out that I'm trying to have a child, and my coworker hears it, and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna give you a Shivalingam. A Shivalingam helped me, and now I have 3 daughters. So I'm gonna give you a Shivalingam. Here you go." So his father went to India. He's an American dude. His dad went to India, and someone told him that Shivalingam is very powerful. It's an energy stone, and he brought it back for his son. His son used it. He got 3 daughters out of it. Then that son gave it to me. So now I have the same Shivalingam that's been passed down from one family to another. And I hope this stays in my family. It's been very powerful for me as well. But we get the Shivalingam 2 weeks later, or a week later, like literally, it happened so quick. It's like Shivalingam came, I went to Cali, I came back, and then boom, Emily was pregnant. And then as soon as that happened, it's like, dude, I 100% believe in this now. I 100% believe in this now, you know? You know, so we did find out, and it is true. The fortune teller was right. Emily, my mom, they were all right. It is a girl. The baby is a girl. The Shivalingam has blessed me with the girl, that's it's just crazy. It's like we had all the answers. It's like everything happens for a reason, you know. So that's literally what it felt like. Shibalingam, GGG. Where do you play the Volt game? Yeah, where do you play the Volt game? What's that Volt game like? Tell me. Yo, I'm leaning towards Tesla Model S due to the markup, bro. Tesla Model S. Oh, I love all Teslas, but look at Lucid Air. Like, why isn't anyone checking out Lucid Air? Like, you know the Lamborghini story, bro? This is the next Lamborghini story. Lucid Air is going to take over. I can feel this because this guy got shunned. He got shunned by Elon Musk, right? He goes to Elon Musk. He's like, "Elon, I work in your battery department. I believe we can do these changes to the battery and get more energy and be more efficient out of it." Elon looks to him and he's like, no one's going to want this. So he's like, all right, screw you. I'm going to go make my own company, and it's going to be better than anything you have. So he came out with the Lucid Air. This is a real model. You can go find these in car shows too. And it's more luxurious than a Tesla. It's more luxurious. The horsepower is more than the range is more than a Tesla. Like, this is a true competitor to Tesla that is hitting the markets, and it's going to take over because, you know, batteries coming in. Like, why would you not want to go to the most premium car? Because now the Tesla just feels like a Honda or a Nissan, while Lucid Air feels like the Mercedes in the space, you know. But definitely check out their cars. Like, they're quite crazy. They have thought about everything inside the car. You can like sleep on them. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. I never knew Elon Musk was Asian. I'm on the same page. All I knew was he was from South Africa. Yeah, see, I don't know if he is Asian. Like, don't. That's just what my wife says. My wife tries to trick me a lot. So, got to go listen to what Russ the Clown has to say. Be back after get kicked. Wait, is Russ on right now? Is he on? Someone exploited the contract by calling it and making it direct to eat swaps for 10x price advantage, and the proceeded to dump it all for about 1.3 million. Oh man, does that mean they removed liquidity? Is that what happened? Wait, is this guy really live on Twitter? Wait, let me go check. Twitter. You're gonna kick me, bro. I just know it. Where do I join? How the heck do I join things on here? Who is somebody? Faltron? Faltron, are you in on the space, man? Follow each other. No, he's not in that space. Yo, Jonathan? Jonathan PR Torres. I spelled Jonathan wrong. PR Torres 1 or something, right? PR Torres 1. God damn it. Rodney. Yo, who's listening on this stream that I can just join in on you? Why can't I find wait, notifications? Someone wait, no, Saitama official. Wait, I know how to do this. Saitama. God, is this guy in there? Yeah? Yeah? Nah. Saitama official. This is me handicapped. I'm handicapped. Dude, there's no way. Saitama Guru? Embarrassing. I should have done Saitama Guru 1 since the beginning. It's the medicine. It's making me loopy. It's making me loopy. Wait, I need to share this with you guys. Stop. Share screen, Chrome tab, audio, share. Join this space. Boom. Oh, it's being recorded. Oh, you're Pop My Boy in there. I don't hear anything. Why don't I hear anything? There he is.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let Han try to find these guys. Han, when you find them, just bring them on up. So we'll get started, and so we can get Max and the rest of the guys up here. So we did a kind of like a little impromptu AMA last night. So we'll kind of go into a little bit of that as well for those of you that obviously missed it because it was kind of late and we just wanted to.
Wait, it's called IT infrastructure plan?
So we'll go over that first, and then Max will give you a little bit more of a breakdown of what that looks like and give you everything that goes with it. Hold on a second. Sorry.
Wait, I can't believe it's called IT infrastructure plan. So there must be something going on with their infrastructure, whether they cannot handle the network traffic or something like that.
I don't have that ability. You just got to push that little blue button on the bottom.
Okay, all right, I'm up.
There you go. Yeah, just bring up Max, and then they're in the group somewhere. I can't see them in here, but if you can filter through and find them and bring them up, that would be great.
Okay, let me go in here and find them.
Yeah, Max, MK, Aaron, they should all be in here. So I don't see them on my list, but if you can find them, bring them on up. So anyway, so we came on last night. We talked about it. So there's a couple different issues that kind of took place during our live launch. First one is when we load tested and we had everything on the main net test net for Saitareality, we did all of our testing preemptively, to ensure a safe and fair launch. As we, it's very highly anticipated launch, and this is something that is not only common but happens just about every time within the blockchain when you have so many people trying to get in at the same time. And I used the analogy last night of 1,000 people trying to walk through a single doorway at the same time. It just doesn't happen. It's like Black Friday all over again. So the same concept took place on our platform, on Saitamask specifically. So we load tested in anticipation of X amount of millions of hits per second or per minute, and it increased our servers and our infrastructure and capability to satisfy some of that. But as we went live, there was just a crazy amount of traffic. So we had to then on the fly increase our usage. We increased it 10x at first to handle capacity in our network. And that wasn't enough because we weren't able to log in. You were getting a network error. The screen wasn't loading. These are all things that happen when there's just too much traffic on the server, too much traffic on the network. It's nothing, technically wrong with Saitamask. It's just that's what happens when you overcrowd, our infrastructure and our servers. So 10x wasn't enough, and this is after the launch time, right? So it's launched live, and people weren't able to get in. Some people were. They were able to get in and obviously swap. So those were some of the first transactions that went through, but 99% of people were not. So we increased it then to 100x, and it took a little while for us to do that, to increase it to that capacity, and then people were able to get in and buy a little bit more frequently. And even then, it still wasn't enough. There was a lot of congestion still. So that's something that we've had to remedy and that we'll have to do moving forward, for our more exclusive launches that we go to do in the future. As I mentioned, this was a little bit kind of a guinea pig launch for us, where it's, it's something very unique. And you can anticipate as much as you can. You can load test as much as you can, but you don't really know what that congestion is going to look like until you actually start getting user interaction. So we increased it to the 100x, and probably the next time we do a launch similar to this, we'll have to even do more, like 300 or 500x or whatever. But that's just one subservice. So there's individual subservices for each thing, not just for the login portion, but for when people go to get onto the app, the swap feature. These are all individual subservices that take place. So we have to then increase each single one incrementally to sustain that kind of volume, to sustain that kind of interaction on our platform. So that's kind of the first problem. And so we mitigated it as we went, increased our sub-services along the way. The second part is something we cannot control, and that's congestion on the blockchain itself. So some and most of you guys may know already, but for those that do not, Saitamask is a decentralized platform. We are a portal that allows you to interact with the blockchain on our platform. We don't control the blockchain, and we do not control interactions and transactions that occur on the blockchain. We just allow people to access it through our portal via Saitamask. Once you engage in a transaction or you try to complete it, it goes into the blockchain for either a submission to where it's accepted or rejected. If it's rejected, it could be from a million different things, right? Too much traffic on the server, too many people trying to buy at once, your slippage isn't set high enough, your gas isn't enough. There's a million different reasons why your transaction may succeed or fail. And we don't control any of those attributes because it occurs on the blockchain. Now, eventually when we have our own blockchain, then we can have control of it. Then we can have access to some of these things and make some corrections along the way. But as a portal, similar to any other configure or API swap or decentralized platform in crypto right now, whether it's Uniswap, SushiSwap, SheepSwap, whatever other swap indication or platform that's out there, it still interacts with the blockchain. We just have the tools and act as a portal for people to transact on there. So, of course, and it's not unique to Saitamask, not unique to Saitamask. It's just unique to the pair and the blockchain occurrence that was trying to happen at the same time. Being that there was hundreds of thousands of people trying to interact with that exchange at the same time, the swap mechanism, the Saitama to Saitareality. So that obviously causes some congestion. And like I said, it's not unique to Saitama or any other highly anticipated launch. It happens with any launch. And if you guys that have been around for a while and you have a highly anticipated launch on any platform, and we'll use Uniswap as reference because it's the biggest decentralized platform out there. If you have a launch that's on there and you have so many people trying to interact and engage for that swap mechanism at the same time, you're going to get a lot of failed transactions. That's why people say to put your slippage up to 50%, make a custom GUI setting to high as it can go. And even then, you still may not get your transaction to go through. It still may fail because on platforms such as Uniswap, now you're competing against front run bots. You're competing with, people that have a full team of folks that are sitting there trying to swap ahead of you that are running systems and have the technology to kind of do that. Here, Han, can you mute your thing? Mute your mic, please.
I am stuck. My screen's stuck. I can't go anywhere. I can't add anybody. I nothing.
Oh.
So if anybody is in the room that is requesting to speak, can I ask you for a favor and cancel the request right now to see if it's going to unlock the room, please?
I invited Data Empress. If you could just, I invited you as a co-host. If maybe you can help out. There you go.
Yeah. Thank you.
There you go. On, if you could just remove yourself because there's a lot of feedback.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Russ. Thank you.
There we go. That's better. Can you do me a favor and see if you can find Max through the...
Absolutely.
And any Aaron, MK, they're all in here. We just can't get them on here.
Okay, I'll try to get them up. Thank you.
All right, appreciate you. Anyways, so yeah, so those are some of the things that kind of occur, in a normal launch, right? And those are things on the blockchain that we cannot enforce, we cannot protect, we can't do anything with it because we don't control it. We don't control the blockchain. We will eventually when we have our own, but right now we can't. And these are similar things that happen on any launch, right? Like I said, it's not specific to Saitareality or anything like that. Once it leaves the Saitamask platform and enters the realm of the blockchain, if that transaction ever gets approved or does not, out of our control. So those are the two main issues that kind of happen, right? The congestion on our end, which we can control, which we have put an action plan in place to scale out and build up our infrastructure. So we did a little bit on the fly last night where we increased our sub-services on multiple different platforms, to 10x at first and then 100x. And these are sub-services that we're going to leave. Okay, so as obviously now and today and tomorrow, we won't have as much congestion on Saitamask because there won't be, hundreds of thousands of people click and refresh 100 times trying to buy the same token. So now we've optimized it So the daily usage is going to be much greater now. We didn't anticipate having to scale out that much right away because these things cost a lot of money, but we didn't, and we just kind of had to, pull the trigger on it and make it happen preemptively and ahead of time. So now it's there, and we'll leave it. And now we even realize and recognize that the next time we do an exclusive launch, we'll have to even scale it out even more. Like I said, we may have to do 300x, but we know now. So and that's part of the learning curve, and that's part of having this platform and kind of pioneering things. Is there is no roadmap to follow. There is no set of instructions in the box that tell you how to do things. We have the resources and the manpower and the knowledge to do these things, but it's still a little bit of trial and error, right? So we ask, for everybody's kind of patience in this process. And yes, it's frustrating. Of course, it's frustrating. Not just you, but for us too, because believe it or not, we want everything to go as smooth as shit, but it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes we got to kind of adapt on the fly, and that's kind of what we're having to do now with some of these things. But knowing what we know now, the next time we do a launch, it'll be much smoother. So
next time we do the launch,
occurred from there. We did the launch the token, kind of bottleneck, had to increase our subservices. We had the max transaction set to 5 trillion max buy per transaction. And we had to shut it off for a split second to do a few things on the back end to kind of make some adjustments to the contract to make it operate smoothly so people could transact, and also to fix our infrastructure internally. And during that time frame, a few people were able to get in and buy whatever, like 1 quadrillion tokens for X amount of Saitama. So it wasn't really ideal. It's something we recognized right away, and we're able to blacklist those wallets in there. So the wallets that at that time, I think there was like 30 or 40. Anybody that had over 5 trillion tokens at that time, we blacklisted, and then we'll just reimburse their Saitama tokens, right? And that's something that we'll do. Instead of just canceling the entire launch and do it that way, we blacklisted those wallets, and then we'll reimburse their Saitama tokens so they could have the 5 trillion. And that was kind of the plan moving forward from there. So there was a few other functionalities, inside the transaction module that we had changed and had to adjust on the fly. Like I said, that being one of them, being able to switch that function off during that time. People, swap X amount of tokens for, the Saitareality was over. I can't remember. I was looking at we were spent all morning looking at these Etherscan reports and going back and forth and trying to configure it and figure everything out. And it was a couple buys I saw was like 1 quadrillion tokens for, I think it was like 1 or less than 1 ETH at Saitama. So so we'll figure that and sort it out. They've already been blacklisted, so they can't drain the liquidity from Saitamask or drain the liquidity from the Saitareality token and push it through. Now the reason why they're able to do that, there's a lot of ways that people can interact and push things through. You can push transactions through the router on Uniswap through different ways as long as you have the contract address. It's not easy, it's a pain in the butt, and normal people that trade don't really know how to do that stuff. But is it possible? Yes. I mean, lots of things are possible on the blockchain. It's not a system that's foolproof. There's always ways around to do it, and the people that know how, they can do that. So how do we mitigate that? Like I said, we just blacklist it, then we can reimburse the Saitama tokens to make sure that we're in line keeping it fair, so these guys don't have 2 quadrillion tokens and dump the project or pull the liquidity out. So right now, the way that it stands is Saitareality, you can still swap for it, but you can only do small amounts. And that's because some of the liquidity was taken out when a few of these wallets were able to buy and sell. And even with the 5 trillion, you can make multiple transactions. So buy 5 trillion, and then again, a few minutes later, buy 5 trillion more, and then kind of pull some of that liquidity out. So what we're going to do is add more and increase the buying opportunity so people can buy more. You can still do it now, but it's in small transactions because there's not a lot of liquidity in there. So like I said, what we'll do is we'll add more so that people can transact and get the max buy of the 5 trillion and have it function and flow smoothly as a normal trade or swap should. But there's a few things that we need to fix on there first. So that's what they were doing this morning, and kind of going through it and going through under the hood of the Saitamask and kind of patching some of these things up. And then once everything's functional, we'll add more liquidity in there so people can transact and swap more tokens. So there's Max. So he can probably give you a little bit.
Let's go.
More of a technical aspect.
There's Max.
I try to do my best to dumb things
Where's
down.
Max?
But I'll tell Max. I'm gonna make you a co-host, but let's try to keep it as easy as possible. I know sometimes you talk to me, I get a little lost, so not everybody is a blockchain.
No.
So
Give me the full details, Maxie. Give me the full
Yes,
details.
I sent Max the request for the mic. Guys, everybody else who is requesting at present, please close out your requests. I'm closing you out. As fast as I close you out, you're coming back up. Okay, here we go. Here is Max.
There's Max. So hopefully
Aaron is in here as well. I'm trying to get him up.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and Max, hopefully you were able to kind of hear a little bit, so you can pick up a little bit where I left off, so we're not, duplicating information. But just kind of letting people know kind of what happened in chain of events, and maybe you can break it down just a little bit more, even so, than what I did on a technical level, so people can get a full understanding of how things transpired and what we've done, and furthermore what we're doing now to increase our infrastructure and put out our action plan that we created this morning to move forward and maximize what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, I mean, you touched pretty much on a high level onto everything that we kind of were discussing before previously in private, but I can go through it again just to give a little bit more insight on what we were or what you were mentioning. So as far as an infrastructure, our infrastructure actually does pretty well. We did a lot of load testing for about like 85 million or about like 90 million hits within like a 5-minute time span, and it did perfectly fine. What we received a bottleneck was on our blockchain calls. We were getting some rate. We found that we saw some rate limiting calling or interacting with the blockchain through the application underneath. I think at one point we saw that we were getting at least 14,000 connections a second just for different interactions, which is it's a ton. If you're in tech and you've seen that stuff, that's quite a bit. So we hit some limits that we had. I think we had 120 million, like how you mentioned, that we kind of went 10x and then we went 100x. We had 120 million calls over through like the blockchain. So that's something that we're obviously, coming up with our next architecture and infrastructure plan to try to mitigate that, so that we actually saw a few things there that definitely can be made better or grow. The other side of the issues that we saw from the evening was the arbitrage, right? It's what we were talking about, is that there was a few folks that were able to buy a little earlier, and then we got them blacklisted. After that, we also saw that there was somebody that was interacting with the router and the factory directly, swapping tokens and performing an arbitrage with Uniswap. This has nothing to do specifically with Saitamask, but if not, there was going back and forth between Uniswap and Saitamask. So we're still looking into that and getting as much information as possible. And then, obviously, after that rolls out, like Russell mentioned, we'll be rolling out more liquidity into Saitareality, so everybody can, continue swapping, and then we'll reimburse also the people that were able to buy early on for a little amount, just because obviously we did have a bit of congestion with our blockchain calls, but that's kind of where we're at right now. Did I miss anything, Russ, that you touched upon? Because I was going back and forth trying to get in here.
No, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, and there was a lot of things going on kind of throughout the evening, and basically we were just trying to, mitigate things as they were happening. So, okay, here's a problem: we got congestion on the blockchain, as Max mentioned. We were getting an X amount of calls per second, and our infrastructure was capable of receiving, a smaller amount. So having to
you're breathing into the mic, Max.
And
my
pay
God.
for it and interact with it and change it right then and there. But all the while,
my God.
some transactions were still going through. So the ones with the larger wallets, as Max mentioned, we had to blacklist them, reimburse them with tokens. And right now, people still transact, but it's smaller amounts. So,
I can bop to your breathing, Max.
Yeah, so
that's
pretty much it. And that's kind of the scale of events. It's what happens from last night up until now, even today, and that's kind of regrouping and looking at some of these ETHScan reports and checking it out.
Breathing heavy, boys.
So, but yeah, a lot of crazy things. Like we said, we don't control the blockchain per se, right? That happens on its own. Saitamask is just a portal for those transactions to start and end. Like we just get notifications and you do as the user if that transaction was successful or if it failed. And that's on any decentralized platform, like even on Uniswap, it'll tell you, okay, you go on the Etherscan report and you can actually track it, how many nodes it goes through, how many times it was approved, and if it was disapproved, it just comes back as failed, and if you don't really know what you're looking at, and you can't really say why it failed, it just comes back as failed. And that's something that you have to actually be able to look at each transaction. So it's impossible for us to dictate that, but I just want you guys to know that that's something that we do not specifically control. Right? We don't control interaction on the blockchain. That's not what Saitamask is. We still operate on the ERC chain. Saitamask is just a portal for that.
Oh my God, we're about to gain a zero.
Moving forward,
we're about to gain a zero.
Kind of down at Max. I know I mentioned a little bit. We're beefing up some of our infrastructure a little bit and adding some of these things to take place, and adding some liquidity in there to Saitareality so people can kind of swap larger amounts. It's still open. Max, looking at the data now, is there still any issues there now since we've kind of increased our sub service, or is it still, are you still seeing some congestion in there?
Not specific congestion. It seems like everything is running through smoothly as far as how people can get on. The congestion, what it affects is once you're on the Saitamask and then you press a button and you're trying to get a bounce back from the blockchain, or you're trying to do a swap and it has to do some calculation from details from the blockchain and you don't get it, or you get a network timeout. That's what you would see when you have congestion.
Bro, I'm
from
congested.
What we see from the reports, it seems to be perfectly fine, but obviously we're going to be incrementing that and monitoring as we go along.
Okay, cool. I think that was pretty all that we wanted to kind of touch on, just to kind of give you guys a chain of events and let you know what happened from beginning to end and up until now. So now we'll go ahead and take a few questions, and I'm just going to go through the list. So I'm just going through each person on here.
It doesn't
try
matter.
to keep it short and sweet so we have enough opportunity to get to as many questions as possible. So in no specific order, we'll go here. Old guy Dave. You always pop
Old
up
guy
there,
Dave.
but,
Yo, let's go. Let's go.
Speaker. I'm sure you'll have some good questions for us. So go ahead, buddy.
Get old guy Dave up there. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So, hey, Russ, you talked about the max transaction amount and how you had to turn it off. So I'm actually looking at Etherscan right now. Technical question. Max can help me with this one. So when I'm looking at Etherscan, I'm looking at, let me hit the refresh button so I get the exact time. 22 hours and 29 minutes ago, the max transaction amount was edited inside of the contract. That contract, when you get rid of the proper number of zeros, ends up being, I think, 120 septillion. Okay. Just after that, at 22 hours, 2 minutes ago, that was changed to 5 sextillion, right? When you look at purchases that went through of those blacklisted wallets, and I'm not one of them, absolutely bought their tokens during the time period when Max or whoever was controlling the contract had allowed that many tokens to be purchased at a time. And then 19 hours, 40 minutes ago is when the max transaction was set to 5 trillion tokens, which was what we've been told about in the AMAs. So when I look at the contract on Etherscan, I'm seeing where those controls to set those max transactions amounts were actually controlled and changed to those amounts by the deployer.
Yes.
After individuals were already able to start trading.
Correct.
So that's what I'm seeing on there. So those wallets bought based off of the contract deployer's changes. They were able to buy in those large amounts. And it did get changed at 19 hours, 40 minutes ago. Also, 18 hours and 11 minutes ago, I'm looking at the update cooldown timer, and I'm looking at the current contract on the read option on Etherscan, and it shows where the cooldown timers says 0. So I don't see where a 30-second or a 60-second cooldown is set on the contract at any point since launch. So if Max could help out with those two things, we'd really appreciate it. But I see it as maybe an improper entry into the contract versus setting the correct amount.
Sure. So we can break those down. So for the first part, what was happening, from a technical side, not what was going on with the buys and things like that, because obviously we weren't monitoring the buys. What we were doing was we had to turn off the max TX amount from the 100, well, the total supply, which was 120 quad. Because we needed to be able to add liquidity, because it doesn't let you add 54 quadrillion, because obviously if it was set at 5 trillion when the contract was first deployed. So we turned that off. We turned it on to it was 56 trillion because it's a big integer, and somebody on the team made a mistake, and then they updated finally to 5 trillion. During that time, they were able to buy, and that's when we noticed, because people were telling us, "Hey, look, some people were able to buy a large amount." Then we started blacklisting those wallets. So then we were like, "Well, let's get them blacklisted, and then we'll figure out what to do after that." And then the second question, for the cooldown period, there were people that were receiving an error, or at least not able to interpret the errors that they were receiving, because they were seeing, "Oh no, we're getting an error when we're trying to swap." But they were getting an error because there was a 30-second cooldown period, and you can see that in Etherscan. If not, I can send it out or put it on my Twitter, where they can see where we had it enabled and when we disabled it for some time to allow people to get in, just because people were complaining a lot that they weren't able to get in. They didn't understand that they had a cooldown period of 30 seconds, because every time you send a transaction, you would hit the cooldown period, and then obviously you wouldn't be able to buy.
So when I look at the contract right now, it still shows the cooldown is 0.
Yes.
Do you have that cooldown actually in Saitamask? Because on the contract it says 0.
Yes, on the contract itself, we haven't re-enabled it, but we do have a control on the app itself. But once we got over everything and got everything back on, then we were going to enable it back to the 30 seconds or 20 seconds, whatever the team decided to put it back up to. But we have a control on the app itself.
3 ETH sale away,
okay,
and it's
going
to gain a 0.
Very technical question when it comes
3
to
ETH sale, and it's going to gain a 0.
Service you're being hosted through. So y'all had to go in last night, and y'all had to change from you went up to 10 times and 100 times, and I don't know if you've gone up since then. I mean, what kind of, and you don't have to tell me who you're paying for it through, but what kind of service are we paying for if we have to manually make these requests to do that versus a contract through
I can't
web
ask these questions,
hosting,
but
Amazon
old guy
Web
David, you
Services,
killing
whoever,
it, buddy. You
where
killing
it's
it.
built into the contract that as the volume increases, that it automatically opens up the bandwidth
sub-services,
to allow
old guy David. Sub-services.
And then what does the actual back-end infrastructure at Saitama LLC look like to actually allow that additional bandwidth to come through as well?
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that we're actually using, or where we saw the bottleneck, is not necessarily our actual servers where we're hosting the back-end infrastructure of our application. If not, it's
the servers.
The interaction with the blockchain. I don't know if you're familiar with Infura or Morales or any of these other API services that you use to interact with the blockchain nodes. While in parallel, we're creating our own nodes and setting up our own data center so we can interact with the blockchain directly. But that takes time. So right now we are using those type of services, and they do not auto scale. They go to a specific point and it gets set to I don't know if you've ever used, I'm going back to Infura. I'm using them as an example because we use multiple different services, and they're all different services for the same goal, just to build a little bit of redundancy to make sure that if one their service goes down, the other one can take over. But the blockchain services, those specific ones do not auto scale. But everything else that we have on our end, as far as infrastructure, we are using serverless, and you just pay for as much as you use, and it auto scales perfectly fine.
Be using serverless.
But for the blockchain, that's kind of where we have our bottleneck. So that's why we're trying to come up with our own data center and our own nodes, so that we don't have to depend on somebody else's services to be able to do
Bro,
that.
you should not be using
Okay, and
serverless, Max. You're limiting yourself.
When it comes to the people that hold tokens right now, I've got a 1.5 trillion Saitareality. I did it just to try because I wanted to be able to review it accurately. What happens to everybody that holds Saitareality tokens right now? Is there going to be a relaunch, a migration, or have y'all figured out a way to save the project in its current form so we can hold our tokens and be able to show value from that later?
So I believe the idea is to save the project as
No,
in the current
please
state,
hit the like
not
button.
to
You guys
put
joining me
everybody
today,
through
hit that
another
like. Help me
launch.
go up.
I think we're going to
guys.
release more details on that to make sure that everybody can just hold on to the tokens. Those who bought early within that time frame at the beginning, where nobody else could get on, then they're going to be reimbursed. But everybody else can continue with their tokens. We planned on burning tokens initially, anyways. We were going to burn about like 40% of tokens. Since those wallets can't trade or transfer or do anything with the tokens that are there, we're going to actually count those tokens into the burn if everybody's okay with that. Of course, being part of the community, that's something that we all have to talk about.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much. And Warrior sent me a couple DMs. He would absolutely love to get brought up to ask some questions. All right. Thank you. I'll step down.
All right. Thank you. We'll see if we can find them up here.
Thanks, Dave, for the good question. And I kind of used for some good technical questions. I know that Max is trying to give you guys some insight on what that looks like, but just to kind of piggyback on what he's saying with the subservices, like they don't happen automatically because these subservices cost like a ton of money.
No, it's because
right?
you're using
we
serverless.
Have payment system set up on file that's automatic
I'm trying
for a
to
monthly
save money with
sub-service.
serverless, and you just
But
need
if
to
we're
pay
talking
for the
about going
servers,
from
bro.
a 10x to a 100x, right? It's not like an extra $10, right? It's like an audit. I told you guys, you probably crap yourself. It's tens of thousands of dollars.
Well, it is an infrastructure change. They need to change the infrastructure. It's the only way.
It's not something that they can just do automatically and then just send us a bill, right? Like we'd get pissed if we got a bill in the mail for an extra $100,000 and be like, hey, you guys did this without our consent. So no, it's something that we have to actually physically do manually with them and say, hey, we need our bandwidth or we need our subservice increased, 10x or 100x, whatever we need it by. So, but yeah, so once we have our own data center, we won't have to rely on them. But that's just part of scaling out and making things, more efficient as we go and as we grow and scale out as a company. So, yeah, so let me add some more folks up on here. Who we got here?
Guys, literally serverless APIs. It's a thing on Amazon. You use API gateway, you use Lambda. Lambda is their big serverless. You only get billed when that serverless code is running. If they're using serverless, there's a ramp up period. There's so much choke points in serverless. They need to use servers for APIs. The blockchain, the 14,000 connections a second. I got to look into that. I don't know if I believe that.
Good people. I know it's a good project.
Wait, is this Faltron?
It's been, so I'm going to preface this with, I'm not, this is not coming from a place of FUD, but from a place of love. Yeah, yesterday was pretty rough, guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. It was a pretty rough day. And really we got to start scoring some wins, man. We got to start getting some points racked up on the board because, man, there's a few community members out here. We're trying our best to be out here for the community, but we're taking a lot of hits, man. And I mean, a lot of hits. We're doing our best to kind of keep everybody positive. But, and I understand that there's things that are out of your control. And, I don't know if Max needs help on the back end. I mean, I know he's one guy. I know there's some other people helping. I don't know what it is. We got to score some wins here, man. It's getting rough. Last night was a pretty tough one. I spent 8 hours, 8 hours to rack up transactions. A lot of them failed, and that happens like in a launch. I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, I will give you that. But if it's extra servers you guys need, extra hands, I don't know, but I got your back as much as I can. But this is not fun. Like I said, we got to score some wins here, man.
You gotta change
no,
infrastructure.
no, you're right, man. We do. Like, shit. Trust me. If there is anybody in this damn room that is more frustrated with all the things that we've had to endure and all the lumps we've taken along the way, it's the developers in this project. You guys feel it too, because it's part of your investment and you're deeply involved in this project just as much as we are. But we feel it, man. We do. And I'm not trying to say it's not frustrating, because it is, man. We take lump after lump after lump, and yeah, we absolutely got to start chalking up some W's, and that's the plan, and that's what we're trying to achieve. To get back at your point, to try to get some help for Max. Yeah, I mean, he's got a team that works with him. But we're not Google, we're not Apple, we're not Yahoo. We don't have a multi-million-dollar infrastructure to support the uses that we have, to support the amount of users that we have. So we're having to scale out as we grow. And for you guys, I'm sure already know, this project is 100% self-funded. We don't have a 12% marketing wallet. We don't have all these things that create and generate revenue for us, right? Like, we have a little bit of revenue streams here and there, and we're hoping to achieve that with our Fang platform, and with different projects that we launch on Saitamask, and of course with some of the microtransactions that occur through our Saitamask platform. These are all small bits of revenue that we can use to scale out. But as we created this thing from day one, this is 100% self-funded. So myself, and I say this as the entire development team, and even some of the community members, have built this thing out of the inner linings of our pocket. So we don't have $10 million to say, Max, here's $10 million, build this incredible infrastructure up today and make this thing run like
doesn't cost
Google
$10 million
service,
for an infrastructure
right?
change.
We'll get to that point 100%. And last night and even today too, when we had our internal development team
guys,
talk,
hit
like,
that
look,
like button.
we gotta put an
120
action
of
plan
you
together.
in the
We gotta
stream
scale
would
out.
help me out.
We have a ton of users. We're getting some bottleneck. We're getting some failed transactions, and that's on the blockchain. But we're having too many issues within Saitamask. Like, we've got to scale out and start beefing up our infrastructure. Max, what do you need in order for that to happen? So we have to create an action plan and create a budget moving forward so we can start accomplishing some of these things. So what does that mean to us as the developers? That means we're going to have to break our checkbook back out, and that's okay. I'm all right with that. And and you'll see people out there trying to FUD on us and say, "Oh, you guys are just making rich. Russ drives a fucking Lambo, blah blah blah." Like, no, man. I put my money into this business because I build businesses, and I'm building this business because I believe in it. It's an investment for me, just like it's an investment for you. We don't have those funds available, so we take out our checkbook, and when we start putting the pen to paper and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to invest $1 million into this project today, not in Ethereum, but money from my bank, so we can build up this infrastructure and get this thing going. It's not because I had to sell Saitama to do so. No, absolutely not. Most of the Saitama we actually put into liquidity in Saitamask. So everything that we do is for the better purpose of this project and to build it up. Not because we're greedy, not because we're money hungry, because I promise you, myself, I can speak for myself anyways, I could have retired a long time ago. Weird. But I want to make this thing well, and I want to build it, and I want to make other people successful. That's my passion. That's what I want to do. It's not worth the headache, right? All the stuff that comes with it. But when you're passionate about something and you want to see it do well, and you want to see something succeed, you do whatever it takes to make that happen.
Correct.
Some people are driven by other motivations, but that's our drive, and that's what we're trying to do. So we put a game plan and an action plan together, and created.
No matter what, Russ is a leader, boys. No matter what, he's a leader. He's gonna get it.
Aside from time, right? Because not only
you're only as strong as your tech team, your marketing
it works
team.
Magically, like ta-da. Like, no, you have to build these things out. You have to create an infrastructure. You have to bring in personnel, but not just personnel. Like, you can't just go to the Yellow Pages or Fiverr and say, hey, do you have blockchain experience?
Hit me up. Hit me up.
This, that, and the other. Like, no, they still have to be familiar with our platform because it's not a replica of something else. We created it and coded it, so they need to be familiar with our infrastructure and our coding and our platform to then be a help, right? So we're gonna have to train people to teach them how to work and how to operate within our system to make it more efficient, and then scale out all our services, and then start to create our own servers and doing all these things. And that's all part of the roadmap
came right in the beginning
for Saitamask to make it more efficient down the road. But is it going to happen in the next 6 hours? No. And that's why it's always been a long-term project. But we have to get the fundamentals down now and create a functional platform and concrete and stable, so we can add banks, so we can add our edutainment platform, so we can introduce metaverse into it, so we can have all these, the play to earn games and all these different things and subportals within our platform, integrating in exclusive tokens, having 10,000 tokens on our swap. These are all things that we will scale out to and achieve over time, but they do not happen immediately. Like, these are things that we have to think long term and from a 10,000 foot view and build things brick by brick. Right?
Wait, will it take me out of you guys listening if I join the space and
you still got to
request?
put this thing together one piece at a time, and that's what we're trying to do. So it does. It gets frustrating. We absolutely need to get some W's up on the board, and we will. 100%. We always have more than one thing cooking at the same time, all the time. And the plan was to get this thing rolled out smoothly, but it's okay because we have other exclusive tokens that we want to bring on, and this is our own.
You can still hear them, right?
Fumble the ball a little bit with our own token rather than somebody else's. Right? Like, this is a good opportunity for us to know what needs to get fixed. We will fix it, and we'll make it better. So the next time when we do somebody else's token, like a Lucky Root or these other exclusive projects we're going to be launching, we'll know where we went wrong. We'll know how to fix it, and we'll mitigate it and do what we need to do
like they know who
to
I
provide
am.
a safer and more secure launch the next time. But this is our token, and like I said, it was okay to make this one a guinea pig. And I mentioned this a little bit yesterday in the AMA prior to even the launch. That if we do have any issues, I want them to happen with this token. Not because I don't want to see it succeed, because I know it'll do well. But it's our responsibility. It's our token. I don't then have to explain to another developer and say, "Hey, we fucked up."
I requested.
Like, I don't have to do that.
I requested.
This is ours, and now we can fix it, and we can make the corrections.
This is
do
the
what
thing.
We need to do,
That's my
and
request.
we can iron out any of the issues and details that we need to.
I wish I would zoom in on that.
W's. They'll come.
God damn it.
They'll come. Like, we're a big project. And we have a lot of things going.
There you go.
And there's even more that we're adding on a daily basis.
Let's
see.
see.
We just have to be able to, time manage the resources and the personnel that we have and the infrastructure that we've created and continue to scale out. We've grown so much in 8 months that most companies, especially in tech, they have time, right? Like, you create a tech company in your mom's basement, right? You launch it out and you got 10 users and you're like, okay, shit, I just got 5 more users. And you scale out a little bit, and then like, hey, we got 150 users now. Let's scale out our infrastructure. Let's build out more.
I got in on CVC.
And then you save your pennies and you create a server, you create a data center, right? And then now you can house 5,000 users. Like, we open up the doors to 300,000 people right off the bat. So that's very hard to do. So now we're scaling out and we're trying to play catch up and we're trying to do these things. And from a technological side, it's difficult, but we're having to work 10 times as hard to play catch up and add all these things and scale out on a limited amount of resources that we have. So anyway, that's just kind of my thought process on it. And I wanted to kind of reiterate that to you.
Yo, what's up, Spice Man?
Because I know a lot of understand, but some don't, right? It's like immediate satisfaction. Like, well, I want it now and I want things to happen now. And I get it. And it can be frustrated when those things don't happen now. But I want to let you know that it's not because there's any sort of, kind of negligence or any kind of lack of ability, rather, for us to do these things. Right? It's not Max's fault. Max is not incapable of doing these things, but he is a man. He only has a certain amount of people on his team. If we asked Max, would it be nice to have 150 people in your office? He would say yes. Max, would it be nice to have 10,000 servers having capability of doing whatever you want to do?
You don't need 10,000 servers.
$10 go to Best Buy and buy whatever you need. Absolutely, but it just doesn't work that way. So we have to do like normal businesses do and grow, but on an acceptable level and scale out with what we have available to us. So now we're but we put an action plan together, and that's what companies do. You understand an issue, you don't freak out. You don't overthink, you don't overstress, you don't overanalyze. You look at everything, you put it in front of you, you put it on the table and say, where's the problem? Here's the problem. Let's isolate it. How do we fix it? This is what we're going to do to fix it. Give me an action plan. Put it on paper. What resources do you need? Create a budget. Start making calls. Let's bring some more people in. That's how businesses function. Crypto is no different than any other business on this planet. It's just created a little bit different because the actual product is a digital asset. And that is the only difference. Everything else comes in tandem. So, the right people are in the right place, right? We just need to get to that point. And you're absolutely right, man. Let's get
ask more questions.
So, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. We'll get some more questions.
For sure. And can I just this is just kind of a second part to that question, or a similar question, but like there was, people kind of exploited a vulnerability. I'm not sure exactly what or who or where. There's some rumors online. Or at least somebody taking credit for it. And there's obviously, some Ethereum that was tornado cashed into the pits of hell. But are you guys able to replace the liquidity at the current contract, or how are you going to add? Are we going to do some kind? Are you going to start adding staking here sooner to help balance out the liquidity, or what are some of the plans? And then also, one thing that we noticed is when there was that exploit that was taken advantage of, and there was the big dump, there was kind of a double-edged sword because although they were using Saitama, they were also receiving Saitama. So not only did they pull the liquidity from the project, the charts also took a big dump as well. Once whoever it was, whatever rapscallion it was, also dumped a huge bag of Saitama. I guess that's some of the mistakes you have to make to learn. But have you guys put any thought into any of those things?
Yeah, and I'll let Max talk on that. He did briefly discuss a little bit, and that's what's called like the arbitrage, and that's kind of how happened. Maybe Max, you can give you guys a little bit.
They're
more
calling it
in-depth look at how
arbitrage.
that happened and pushing transactions.
You had a vulnerability, just admit it.
And how that arbitrage took place, and what we're doing to kind of mitigate that. I know that we're still looking at some details on that, but if you could kind of touch on that and give a little bit more of an in-depth, response to that.
Yeah, so we're still looking at through everything to see exactly what happened and how large the damage was. I mean, I don't believe that is as big as he's mentioning on Twitter, but obviously I never go by hearsay, right? We're looking at all the transactions. It's not necessarily an exploit. It's just, for instance, you can make transactions directly, let's say through Uniswap or Saitamask or any other swaps router or factory directly using blockchain. Every function that exists within any contract is publicly available through the blockchain, and you can interact with them if you know how. The reason why everybody uses these applications that sit in front, like Uniswap or Saitamask or anything else, is because it's cumbersome, and obviously it's not the easiest thing to do. So you connect and you do directly, and you do arbitrage. What arbitrage is, for those who don't know, is that you're buying at a lower price somewhere else, or you're receiving an extra amount of tokens, which is what he claims, and then selling those tokens somewhere else. In this case, it was Uniswap. So he was performing arbitrage between Saitamask and Uniswap from what we see preliminarily. Well, we're going to be, throughout the whole weekend looking at all the transactions. And
Saitareality can't be sold on Uniswap.
Almost everything we do, we plan to completely replace anything that if has been lost. We're very responsible about that. I've never said that we've set out to do this project to harm anybody, and we always take responsibility for anything that happens. Now, aside from that, you can add liquidity through Saitamask. That's something that's already available and exists. But maybe we can add more information on how to do so for those who do want to do that. And then this project that just to touch a little bit on what Russ was saying earlier. We set up this project because we see a lack of either transparency or responsibility or, safety in the blockchain or DeFi space when it comes to normal people interacting with cryptocurrency, which there's a gap that doesn't allow the masses to come over to crypto. So that's what we're trying to help with. And that's why we started this project, to educate and also provide a safe space to do trading and learning. So that's kind of, what we always stick to. And we always try to be, as transparent, as much responsible as we can be. That's kind of what I can say with that.
Thanks, Max. Yeah, and honestly, that's what we do in hosting these AMAs. It accomplishes a couple of things, right? Because I promise you, everybody that's on this call right now is learning something. Because we all don't know. Like, I've been around in crypto for a while. Max knows has been around for a while. We know the ins and outs of the blockchain. We know how things operate. We know how to read each scan. We know how to create contracts. But not a lot of people in crypto do. It's just too young. It's too early. So having these kinds of calls and doing the things that we're doing, we're creating a safe space, and we're educating people at the same time. Telling you what we're doing step by step, and telling you where we went wrong, and telling you what we're going to do to mitigate that and fix that. It accomplishes a couple of different things. It accomplishes, us being able to fill you guys in and keep you and being transparent, with the project and keeping you up to date on what we're doing. But it also helps people to learn and understand, because a lot of FUD comes not from one particular source. It just becomes people don't necessarily understand fully, right? And if they don't have someone to come out and explain and teach you along the way of what's really going on and what had been done and what's being done to correct it, then you'll never know, right? So what we've always done from the beginning is to come out and address FUD right away, right off the bat, like, because it's not really FUD. It's just, hey, you may or may not know of what is actually happening. And when you start to draw your own conclusion based off misinformation, that's when things start to spiral out of control. So, and that's all, relative to like what I actually said, like what we're trying to do, create a safe space, like bridge that gap between the user, the investor, and the development team and the project itself, and inform the entire crypto community about what you need to look for, and not even in regards to the Saitareality launch or even the Saitama token at all. But the more knowledge you have, the better of an investor that you can be, and then you can take that information and help teach somebody else. Somebody that doesn't want to get into crypto because they don't know enough about it. You are now an advocate, right? And now you have more information. You can help spill that to other folks. So,
hit that like button.
I'm gonna get to a couple other people here.
And 1 minute, Russell. Let me answer Faltron. Hey guys, how are you? Faltron, you were telling about this to add up more on IT to assist Max. Max has always be a CTO, and he will be, and I appreciate that. That is somewhere we need it. So Russell, you were not there in the today meeting. We are adding up a company. We are doing a partnership in India, which I was telling you before. They have an IT team with 170 developers for blockchain and around 220 or 210 for normal IT. So they will be our backside to supporting Max.
So you're offshoring
what he wants to
offshoring.
And to get the things on
all of our developers are on site.
So practically
now it's from India.
That will be ready within a week.
I requested this from
sign
day
the
one.
NDA, all the contracts. So we'll have a big team behind Max who will be working for Max. Yeah. So we will cover the IT.
Oh, CryptoBollocks got up there before me.
That part is for Saitama.
What the?
And Saitamas definitely need more hands.
Awesome, thanks, brother. Yeah, and there's more to that too, not just with the IT team and the infrastructure scaling out. We got a lot more stuff that MK is working on with the Indian market.
I'm on their space. They haven't kicked me out. I am there.
And is the router? Is the router? Is that exclusive? Is that for Saitamask, or is that a Uniswap router?
No, it's a Saitamask.
We have an exclusive router for Saitamask and an exclusive factory for Saitamask.
We have
our own.
You need a router,
everything that was created for Saitamask is uniquely for Saitamask. Even our liquidity pools have nothing to do with Uniswap. Now, if you create a transaction on the blockchain that interacts with both the router on Saitamask and Uniswap, you can do that and can interact with as many routers as you want. That's how you get the arbitrage.
Okay, well, thank you guys for all you do. I'll keep my mouth shut here for a minute. I really appreciate you guys. So thank you very much. Thanks, Max.
No, I think it's important to ask all these questions, stuff like that, because that's why we do these discussions, so we can get as much information out there.
Right. We'd love to see you out here more. People love hearing from you guys. I know it gets a little weird when you're up here in front of 4,000 people, but it gets easier after the second, third, fourth time.
No, I have no problem personally talking. It's more or less just like trying to find a balance. If you ask me, I could probably be here all day and to have questions and talk and have discussions, because I like learning regardless. But that's here nor there. But it's just trying to find a balance between doing the actual work and then having all the discussion. So it seems like 24 hours is not enough for me, at least.
Yeah, we all know you're real busy. Thank you, Max.
All right, man. Awesome. Let's see what we got here. Let me see here. CryptoBollocks, go ahead, man. I'm going to bring up a couple people, and you guys just kind of
move me up, Rusty.
Questions and just try to be respectful of one another's time too. So I'll add a couple people. Then CryptoBollocks, go ahead, man. We got a few other people on here too.
Russ, before we bring up more, would you mind? HTN Han has had her hand up for a while, as well as President Show.
Oh, okay. She was having issues with her thing. I don't know. Let me
I am good. I just have a couple of technical questions from Max from the community that that I've been looking after. The first question is, I do know the answer, but I wanted to hear from you guys. All of the Ethereum that was that got burned by the failed transaction, that's pretty much an Ethereum blockchain things, right? There's nothing we can do about it. Is that correct?
Yeah. So any Ethereum that gets sent over to the Ethereum blockchain for gas fees, that's something that gets charged inherently by the Ethereum blockchain. We have nothing to do with that. That's just a fee that gets charged and paid directly to the miners to carry out your transaction. Whether your transaction fails or not, that fee gets paid out because the work is done.
Is it possible that people also get charged for Ethereum and also at the same time losing their Saitama token?
So on the blockchain, that shouldn't be the case now. You should be charged Ethereum, and you shouldn't lose any Saitama token unless you're being charged the liquidity provider fee, which goes to all the liquidity providers on Saitamask, if that's what you're asking. But that is the same on any other swap. There's always a liquidity provider fee. It's usually a percentage of the transaction, and it goes to anybody that provides liquidity.
Okay, the status of the swapping in general, not just for Saitareality, but is everything else back to its normal swapping status, or are we still waiting on you to turn things services on?
Nope. So as far as swapping, everybody has been swapping fine with all the token pairs. I think that how Russell mentioned earlier that talking about Saitareality and Saitama will add more liquidity so it can pair swap a lot more. But everything has been fine as of yesterday evening around 2, 3 in the morning.
Okay, when people go in to check the value of the token by doing the reverse of Saitareality to Saitama to see, you know, the number, it's not showing the value. Is that a continuous thing until you do something about it, or are we expecting it to show up momentarily?
So the value of your portfolio for Saitareality now shows up. If you look at your portfolio, you should have a balance, and it should show in USD. If you don't see a value showing up, for instance, if you go on the swap and you click max buy for all the tokens you have, if it doesn't show up, it's because you're trying to buy more than you're able to. As far as the price impact, I believe in the next release we're going to have a little bit more details show up, so that way you can have a clearer picture of why that's not doing that. But that's because you're trying to buy more than you're allowed to as far as the price impact.
Okay, so
HTN, I think you're in the blockchain.
Yeah, they were planted
or
questions
the ether.
Bro, they brought up all these other boys instead of me, boys. What the hell?
So I did have a few people ask Max that were saying that they tried to transact
William?
with, the Saitareality, and they were saying that they couldn't see the Saitareality I gave or the their Saitama token. It wasn't showing up on Saitamask. Of course, saying that Saitamask sold their Saitama token.
240 followers.
Liquidity, maybe they're just. Obviously still on the blockchain,
671.
still showing up on the Etherscan, but
get me up there.
their Saitama tokens weren't showing up in Saitamask.
Yeah. So that goes back to if they were trying to do it during the time when we were having the bottleneck, those calls, that information, as far as your balance, we're just getting the balance from your wallet on the blockchain. And those are calls to the blockchain. If it's congested and obviously we can't get to the blockchain, or the blockchain itself, whatever API we're using, if we're either using our own nodes or using some sort of external service that we pay for, it gives us a limit or a rejection, then it can't retrieve back that information. But that doesn't mean it does not exist or we're out to steal coins from people. And just to mention it here, I'm not saying that this is what I'm doing, but obviously I know enough and I've been in the space enough that there's far easier ways to get other people's coins. I don't think I would go through this trouble to develop a full application, spend all this time and all this frustration just to steal people's money.
Yeah, no, and for anybody that's saying like if they don't see there's a common token or whatever, because I've seen a few different similar messages to that. Like it's on Etherscan, right? So there's so many different forms of security integrated and firewalls and things and layers and layers and layers of security on Saitamask that we couldn't even get access to your tokens if we wanted to, right? So the quickest and easiest way is just look on Etherscan, man. Look at your wallet on Etherscan, plug it in Etherscan, see your balance, just know that it's there, and please don't resort to like a social media, man. It doesn't do any good to put those things out there. Like I see tweets all the time. Saitamask stole my Saitama token. That doesn't do any good, like, because that's not accurate. That's not true at all. Go on to Etherscan. Look at your wallet. Those tokens are still there. They have not gone anywhere. We don't even have that ability to do that. But it creates unnecessary FUD, and it creates unnecessary info. Because what happens is people read that and they freak out and like, oh, Saitama's a bunch of crooks. They stole $30 worth of Saitama tokens. No, man, that's not the case at all. So please,
Not at all.
refrain from doing that. I know it's tough to refrain sometimes, but please,
Saitama Empress, you're part of the dev team. You're speaking on this.
Just do a little bit of research, man, or check yourself. I go on Etherscan, and that's why we have these spaces too, not to send like false information. Like we want to
tired.
Like if we could hold
the NyQuil
classes to teach people how to read Etherscan reports.
I need more NyQuil
so people have an understanding, a better understanding of how these things work and how to do some due diligence on your own, because it prevents that FUD. It prevents people from throwing out false information on social medias, because all that does is create a whirlwind of negativity, and that's something we don't need, right? Like we got enough stuff going on that we got to spend some positive vibes, right? Get those W's, not to create like a bad atmosphere. So
exactly.
Oh my God! Stop.
So that's my thoughts on that. So
you saying exactly, absolutely amazing. This is great. No, none of this. Stop it. Let him talk.
Yes.
Go ahead, man. You got
oh my God.
Hello. I just wanted to ask, when are we going to get a viewable chart to see the what's going in and everything, and the market cap and everything? And also, do you know the current price for sales to Saitareality?
Wow, great questions.
Yeah, so pretty soon we're going to be launching our at least our charts and our charting platform, so you can see different prices for things. I'm trying to get the DEX tools to start indexing our DEX, which is a Saitamask, because you do see the pairs on DEX tool, but they don't index all the transactions. So that's something that I'm trying to talk to them about. But in the meantime, we're working on our different charts. You can see the price inside Saitamask, and we'll start updating.
You can tell that
slowly,
right from her
you
accent.
start seeing that coming in.
Okay. Do we have a timeline for the DEX tools?
Don't give them a timeline. Don't give them a date. Don't give them a
DEX
date.
tools charts. It's kind of the ball's in their court.
For real.
But I can definitely reach out and get some more information and provide more information when I have it.
Okay, and I've been told to tell everybody to vote on OKX.
Oh yeah, so OKX, and thank you for bringing that up real quick. So we have, and I wanted to kind of clear the air about this.
I'm not even in there, bro.
We're not begging for a listing exchange. We're just simply asking to activate the community to get this listed, because it's an opportunity for us. Like they approached us and to put us on a short list, right, to get listed on OKX. Like, hey, if we get like 5,000 registered users on OKX, we're gonna list like a couple of meme tokens, which they don't normally do. You guys have to understand, like top tier 1 exchanges don't normally list meme coins. They don't. And I know that we're not a meme coin, but from an outsider's perspective, we're still kind of in that
What
category.
about Ape?
But we do have a lot of volume, and we have a tremendous community. We have a lot of use cases.
What about Shiba?
We want to list you on our community.
Doge.
We also need to see that it's worth our while to list you guys, and traditionally do not list meme coins onto our platform. So if you guys can get 5,000 users to register and deposit $10, then we can list you guys, put you on a short list, and get you onto our platform, and allow for our users to now interact and buy Saitama on our platform. So it's not us necessarily beg and say, hey, we can't get centralized exchanges without your help. No, we can, and we have plenty, and we'll be rolling some out here shortly. But this is just an opportunity for us. Like, hey, they're not going to charge us a listing fee, and most of these exchange listings, their fees are in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's an opportunity for us to get listed on there, and not only that, but it's a short list, so they can do it relatively quick. But they just want to make sure that it's worth their while. and it's something that we, as a very strong community, can do rather easily, right? And hey, and free is good, right? If we, like I said, we don't have a marketing wallet, so instead of myself and Max, shelling out, a couple $100,000 for a centralized exchange, which we have in the past, and which we would, happily do so again. We don't need to.
Hey, Alonzo.
We'll list you for free. We just need to, have you activate your community and get people involved. So
I still hold
that's the
Saitama.
premise of that, right? And it's easily done. And I think that we can do it. And if I didn't think that it was possible, we wouldn't even have entertained it, right? But I think that's something we can very easily do, and it benefits everybody, right? Because they have a huge amount of volume, a huge user interface, tons of people that would be interested to trade Saitama, and of course, it brings a lot more brand awareness and marketing to our project, and that's what we want to do, right? More holders, more investors, more money circulating, price point goes up.
There's no way I'm going to be able to
that
crack.
W,
There's 5
right?
people
So we need to
now.
get some of those W's.
Cryptobox, Faltron raised his hand again.
Activating the community,
the lifeguard
is
dude,
that
the other dude,
we don't do often,
and now William.
but it's
There's
something
no
that's
way.
very tremendous. So
they're going to
you
end
guys
this
are
before.
able to, please do so. Yeah, and it's not us
need a
begging
tissue.
for anything. We're just,
I need a
as
tissue.
a
I'll be
community,
back.
collectively trying to do something that's going to better this project and better this this coin and this token itself, and that's something that we feel strongly that will help tremendously. And again, we have more other exchanges that we're working on as well, but this is one that it's an easy W for us, so let's do it.
Just before I go, Max, could you indicate exactly where you see on Saitamask where the current price is? Because I've had a few people say.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear. I think you cut out at the end there. So.
Yeah. So right now you can see in your portfolio your portfolio balance on Saitareality if you have it listed on there, and the price should start popping up on the chart if you add the token, or if not, not on the core market cap side. That's something else. But if you add the token on your main list, it should start coming up there. But definitely in your portfolio, when you see it listed, it should have your USD dollar amount.
And the price that's reflected there at present, that is accurate for Saitareality?
That should be accurate for what the liquidity pool for Saitareality is internal. Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. There were a lot of DMs coming in asking that question.
I doubt that.
Yes, I received
at least 300 million.
300 million, really?
Yeah. And if anybody sends me a message, it's not like I'm ignoring on purpose.
I had 300 million messages, guys.
I'm getting
45 or 5 million. He'll get to you,
25 to 5 million messages,
a lot
guys.
of the times, if it's just like a very repetitive questions, we kind of aggregate them and then we try to answer them through these AMAs. Right. So that way everybody can get those answers, because it's just tough to answer it all,
Bro,
all day, every day.
To do it for free.
Absolutely understood. Sorry.
Yeah, we only have 350,000 holders, but I think I get 400,000 messages a day.
Exactly.
400,000 messages a day.
Yeah, well, we'll just do a quick game.
400,000.
We're ignoring you. We're just like, okay, well, this question come up.
I don't know if I believe these numbers.
We'll put it on the board, and then
my boy Russ getting 400,000 messages a day. Every single one of his followers messaging him 4 times a day at least.
Makes sense. So, okay, yeah. So let's go. We'll take some more questions here. Max, you got a drop dead time, or how are we doing? I know you got your work cut out for you.
Yeah. If we can take like a question or two more, and then I'd drop off, and then I can get back to doing a few things. And even my kids were saying, when are you gonna spend some time with them? So I'm trying to balance everything.
Yeah, I have some more questions, but I'll let some others speak.
Next door doing the same thing. So we'll do about.
I don't even bring up personal life at this point.
I got the kids and the wife all giving me dirty looks too. So
I can imagine my husband's giving me looks as well.
Yeah.
You know
how it is. Yeah, I got lots of them.
I give my wife a look, and she's like, "Get out of here."
Yeah, what's that, Peg? What do you mean?
First of all, I appreciate you guys doing this. It was much needed.
I
appreciate you guys taking up the responsibility of doing it. Excited and push. Thank you, Max, MK. Thank you. So it's a 2-part question, very quick. I think we have a lot of loyal Saitama members here who will stick with the project through thick and thin, and I do mean thick and thin. But I do believe that we also know that there's nothing wrong with having a marketing wallet, and I think we're willing to participate in making that a functional wallet. So So our devs who are already planning so many different things that we can't even imagine, the last thing they should worry about is resources as far as that's concerned. So what's the plans for a marketing wallet, or the feasibility of a marketing wallet? And then second, specifically, Max, since you're CTO, I'll speak to you. What are your detailed plans for increasing, or for rebuilding, actually, investor confidence and building it higher than what it was prior to November? Thank you.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. And I'll let Max obviously address the second question, but the first part of it being the marketing wallet. So we're not going to like recreate, we're not going to launch a V2 of Saitama, right? We have way too many holders. It's really complex. I mean, if it was something that we wanted to do, we would have done it early on, like in June, right? Where we're like, okay, we don't have a marketing wallet. But you have to understand too, like back then, that was very unheard of. You know, there was no coins that were launching back there with these crazy tokenomics, 12%, 15% tax. That was unheard of. Ours is very simple. A couple percent goes to burn, a couple percent goes to redistribution. I mean, I'm looking at some of these tokens that are out there now. They got 10% marketing and 10% development and 10% this, that, and the other. That's crazy money. I mean, the coin has to jump 40% just for you to break even if you want to sell.
It's actually pumping again.
So we didn't do that back then, and we're not going to do that now. So for us, from a company standpoint, like, how do you sustain life? How do you expand and scale out and generate revenue? How do you do it with a normal business, right? The easy way is, just tack on 10% or 5% development or marketing, and do it that way, because that's free money every transaction. But we're doing it the old-fashioned way, man. We're generating revenue as a company should. And how are we generating revenue? Through microtransactions through the platform that we built, right? Or NFTs, like people create NFTs and they do it through Saitama and they do it through our FANG platform. Like, that creates revenue for us. The Saitareality token, there is a 2% tax on there for marketing, so that will help. And it'll help for the marketing aspect for Saitareality, but we can dual brand and co-brand it so it's marketing for both Saitama and for Saitareality, and it'll help create and build out some of that infrastructure. So there's lots of opportunity for us to generate revenue without having to take it out of everybody else's pocket, right? Like, I know you guys are always willing to help and would do so in a heartbeat. I know you guys would, and we truly do appreciate that. But as a company, like, it's not your responsibility to pay the bills to keep the lights on. It really isn't. Like, you guys are investors and you believe in this project. It's time. We have to do that, right? We have to make sure these lights are kept on. We got to pay these bills. We have these responsibilities as developers to scale out and produce and deliver. That is our responsibility. It's not the holder's responsibility, right? I mean, we could do that, but it's not something that I morally or ethically would feel comfortable in doing. And it's not because we don't need you, because we absolutely do, but it's not your responsibility. At the end of the day, it's not your responsibility to pay some of these bills. And even though I know that you guys would have no problem doing so, right? And of course you would, because you guys are just as dedicated to this project as we are. But again, at the end of the day, it's not your responsibility, it's ours. So we got to generate that revenue through any means necessary. And we have, like I said, we have a game plan, and we have, a strategic plan in place to generate that revenue, to do these things, to do the marketing, to scale out our infrastructure internally, and bring in other people. And that's how business functions. And that's what we fully intend to do. So, that's the plan, man. But yeah, I know you guys would contribute if you could, and we did do, like, a few times in the past when we were really small, ask for donations for listings and things like that, and we got a lot of sideways talk for it. And at the end of the day, it's true. Like, we shouldn't have to ask for donations. Right? Like, we're not a nonprofit. We are a company. We should be able to be profitable and then take some of that profit to put it back into the company and expand and develop. So that's what we'll do. So go ahead, Max. You probably already forgot the second question, but I think he was asking, what's the plan to reinstill some of that investor confidence on the tech side platform and start meeting some of these deadlines, and start operating in the capacity in which we should, right? And that's we have the bar is set very high, and I know you guys know this because you've been in crypto for a while. Saitama is held to a very, very high standard, and I think that we should be, because we are setting the standard. So when we don't deliver, when we don't meet some of these deadlines, when we don't have a launch that goes 150% as planned, we get scrutinized for it. We receive a lot of criticism, and that's okay, because we should have and we should be held accountable and have that higher standard set for us, and we expect that. So, Max, what's the plan? How are we going to reinstill some of this confidence moving forward for some of these guys that have been around for a while?
Yeah. So thank you for reiterating what the question was, because I was like, wait, what was the question again? No, I'm just kidding. So we're working every day, ridiculously diligently. I speak for the whole tech team, or the tech side of things, where we're working harder than hard, right? But aside from that, um, a lot of things that we're doing is reorganizing the way that things are working, doing the things right. Because as if you've been around the project since the beginning, we've been rushing through everything to trying to get it done. I mean, the initial Saitamask app, we had it done within 2 months, and then we had to go back and re-engineer things because we wanted it to make it better. That's what we're always striving to do, is to make things better. But a lot of things we're doing now is, how MK mentioned, is seeking additional resources and re-architecturing a lot of things, but also providing a lot of automation so we can meet the deadlines, the aggressive deadlines that we're setting for ourselves. Because, like Russ mentioned, we are setting the bar for ourselves pretty high, because that's kind of something that we've always done in our own respective lives. But at the end of the thing, it boils down to just keep working hard and making sure that we can get these things done.
Yeah, that's real good to hear, because I got to be honest, FUD is at an all-time high. Anything you can do to, you guys are working hard. I know that. For sure, 100%. You guys got a real hard job ahead of you. I do not envy you. But yeah, it's rough out in these streets and on these charts, so yeah, anything, I know any exchanges, any small exchanges, anything, any wins we can rack up there would be much appreciated. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, we got some, man. Give us a few days. We got like I said, we got the OKX competition that we're trying to push for right now, because it runs through the weekend, so we're focusing on that. But we got lots of other stuff, man. We got, like I said, I was when I say things, I don't say them just to say them. And when I say that we were out centralized exchange shopping, that's what we were doing. So OKX is just one piece of the puzzle. So yeah, so we'll start stacking up these W's, man. But we're not focusing on that. Like right now, we wanted to come in and focus on the task at hand and create an action plan for the Saitareality and kind of address that. But yeah, we got some W's in the bag, man. We're just going to start pulling them out, but we want to make sure that we're addressing this first, and then getting some of that investor confidence back that was mentioned. And the only way that we do that is we just keep our head down and keep working, man, and and being aggressive about it, because a lot of times it's easy to tuck tail and run and hide behind some bushes, man, but we've never been that community or that development team to do that. We get right out in front of things immediately and say, hey, this is the issue, this is what we ran into. Part of it control, other part it's not something we can control, but we can adapt and overcome, and that's what we're trying to do. We're not ones to make excuses. We just say, hey, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to fix it, and this is how we're going to do better next time.
I zoned out. I was checking Twitter.
So we got here for.
Is this almost done?
We've got Cryptobolics. Cryptobolics is next.
Oh my God. Empress, you could take me down. I want to get out the way so you can get.
Okay, my dear Craig. Thank you. I'll do that. Cryptobolics, you're next, followed by Mr. Michael Thompson, aka Saitama Builder.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. You guys know I love Saitama. I do, but I don't want this to come off the wrong way. So please don't take it as such. Obviously, this wasn't a fair launch. I've bought many launches, so I think I'm pretty good at buying, setting the way, and all that fun stuff, and getting it executed. I was not able to purchase any, along with a lot of other people. Some people did get in, not many. And now you guys will be, essentially not relaunching, but opening it up when you're adding more liquidity in there, allowing people to buy in. But I don't believe that the app was working properly. I don't at all. And it caused, because screens weren't loading. I mean, network errors, tons of crazy stuff. I don't feel like it was fair, right? And granted, you guys are innovating, and I completely get that entirely. This is something new.
What is happening?
You guys are doing amazing things, and I love it. But it's not very fair how do you plan on making it fair for all the people that were not able to execute any transactions and in fact lost almost $1,000 in Ethereum? And I know
Wolfpack is
others,
coming
just like
after
me,
him.
I've had about 150 DMs of people that lost lots of money trying to execute. So I just wanted, how are you guys going to make this fair, or how are you going to make it work where no one gets burnt on gas fees? And then I have a follow-up to that one.
Go ahead, Max. I'll let you kind of. I mean, a lot of it kind of has to do with the blockchain, but I'll let you kind of give your interpretation on it.
A lot of it doesn't have to do with the blockchain,
so we're
Russ.
not up here, saying that it was working. We 100% said that we had a bottleneck, and that bottleneck was caused by the amount of traffic that we received, and everybody was trying to get on all at the same time. It's hundreds of thousands of people trying to buy as fast as they can.
Thousands of people.
So that's the action plan that we have in place is a re-upped architecture. Obviously, we are creating our own data centers for our nodes for the blockchain to mitigate that, so we don't have that bottleneck. But as far as talking about folks that lost on gas fees, that's something that we're discussing internally to see how we can help with that. That's obviously we're going through it. It just happened last evening. Everybody was up until I think 4 or 5 in the morning in their respective time zones. If you give us some time, and then we can go through it and come up with a full plan, and then roll it out.
That's the best response I've heard, because I was concerned that you weren't going to help the people that did lose there. I don't need anything, I'm fine, but there's a lot of other people that don't have a lot, and they were trying to get in, and that made my night. I was concerned you guys were just going to say it's the blockchain and that is what it is, but thank you for that.
They did say that. What do you mean?
We've
heck?
always been a few things. There's a few things that we've always been, and this is not something that we've just done overnight. Like, we have always been 150% transparent, and we've always been 150% fair.
No, I feel like he said a very good question, and then he just everything went back because he's like praising them when
that MO.
It made no sense
that we
there.
will continue to do. So
Cryptobolics, you
the
made
last
no
thing that
sense
we want to do is lose any kind of investors. We don't want to lose community's faith. We don't want to lose integrity in the space. We want to continue to dominate in the space and prevail. And whatever we need to do that is something that we'll collectively come together and figure out what is fair, right? And of course, it's impossible to make everybody happy. We've accepted that. But if we can at least turn the tides and try to do what we feel is fair and make it optimal for everybody, that's something that we're working on. We'll have some information as we gather, and we have our all the discussions and look at all the data, analyze it, and then reflect on it and say, okay, this is what we should do. This is what we have.
They're listening in. They're listening in.
Come together as a development team and figure out the best action plan and how we're going to move forward with that. So as always, I appreciate all the feedback from everybody, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. We take it all. I think my man Michael Thompson. I think you're next, brother. What's
my man? So they already know each other.
Hi, Mike.
Oh, I was just talking and the phone was on mute. Okay.
Ah.
Typical Michael Thompson. But
welcome. How are you?
Everybody. Thank you. I'm very well. Very well. I just wanted to say really quickly, a few things, and it'll be fast, but I just wanted to say to certainly the dev team, the work and the commitment, the focus is something that, I really appreciate, just because I've seen business development, been in financial services business 20 plus years, and I've seen companies develop, and I've seen actually companies, they've fallen.
Yeah, I'm still in there. Requested.
The devastation sometimes with what you experience with setbacks. And one thing that I realized in business.
Oh my God, I didn't mute. I'm sorry.
And we're talking a company right now, Saitama, that's barely a year old. Right, we're talking a company right now. I've seen them fall just because the leadership didn't have the strength or the wherewithal to endure the tough times. And so one thing that I also appreciate, even though we're hitting turbulence, and I agree with Valtron, we're going to collect some wins soon. I believe it. But what I look for most in a company, and what I know that makes the separator in a company, is the strength and the resilience of leadership during the tough times. It's not the great times that you're able to determine this. It's the tough times. And so when there's tough times, see, I've had the opportunity. I feel excited because I have opportunity to speak with Russ on a regular basis, and the times that I've had a chance to spend with
Oreo commercial
and MK, and having a chance to really understand those guys in person. You can see the fire in their eyes.
Oh no! Oh no!
You can see the drive to just make things right, make this good. Not just...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got too infatuated with what was going on. Here, let me join back. Leave. Yeah, it's a sign. It's a sign. Yo, I was like, what movie is that playing in the background right there? Refresh. Exit. We're gonna do this again. I'm sorry. I promise you, you're not missing much. I promise you.
Of questioning is fascinating to me. I look at an ether scan. If I really figure out how to get on one, I look at an ether scan, and all I know is to see that it's a green success. Everything else on the page is a different language for me. But I understand from a people standpoint that it
Chaka, we've tried that before with Rodney, and it didn't work.
Team and to this awesome community that
they know who I am. They know that's the problem.
To the next level, even through the turbulence, and speaking of turbulence, I don't like to fly with turbulence. Like turbulence throws me off. Like I have an anxiety with airplane turbulence, until one day I sat next to a pilot, literally sat next to a pilot who was flying as well. And I was going through my normal anxiety with turbulence, but this pilot was very calm. He was very relaxed, and I'm panicking. And the difference was the pilot understood what was going on. He knew what represented or what caused the turbulence from an education standpoint. And so in that regard, he explained to me what was happening during the times of turbulence that calmed my anxiety. So during the ride, however, when you're riding, to a destination, my goal was to get somewhere overseas. I think I was going to the Philippines at the time. But literally that ride, it was calming because someone with experience, knowledge, and understanding sat next to me to calm. And I look at Russ, I look at MK, I look at Max, and all the powers that be, and Gabe, and Aaron, and Nam, all the ones that I've had an opportunity to spend time with. During the tough times, during the turbulence, that's when you look at the pilots, and if the pilots aren't panicking, then there's no need for us to panic. In that regard, we need understanding, of course, and that's the job of the pilots. So in this regard, I'm excited to be on this vehicle. I'm excited because I know you can't drive to the Philippines. So if you want to get to your destination, you got to pick the right vehicle. And I believe we're in the right vehicle. So I just want to say to the community, yeah, we're going to take our hits. That's a part of growth. That's a part of growing pains. Certainly, we're going to make some mistakes
what
along
is your
the way.
question,
That's
bro?
a part of growth too. The key is just not making
brought you up
the same
for a
mistakes.
question.
But mistakes is a part of life. It's part of growing.
I could have been brought up and asked questions.
This is where we get bigger together. We get stronger together, and the strong and the strength rather of the leadership. That's what's going to make the difference.
Okay,
and we have it. I've seen it in person.
And they brought me down. They took down my request.
Basis. And I do have to say to Max, though, hey, Max, man, I never got a chance to meet you in person. I've seen Max in action on regular, like, Zoom calls, and, we've had a few meetings, but
they
Max,
know,
we got to
they
get
know,
together, man. I haven't seen you in person yet, man. You're the
know.
only Dev that I haven't met in person, man.
If it happens one more time, we know.
Yeah, we got to make it happen.
It's a conspiracy.
Anytime. I believe we're still trying to do the whole meeting up in Miami. I think I'll be there. So
yo, Max, I'll be there
we do
too.
Something before that. I don't know. That we got to make it happen.
We got to make it happen. So I appreciate you, man, and certainly your level of experience and expertise. I see it firsthand on Zoom on a direct connect. And even
got
then,
my whole YouTube squad going. That's why.
So I know we're in good hands. It's just a matter of putting it all together so it all comes together
toilet paper,
for all of our
napkin.
good. So, Russ, your dedication, commitment, MK, Aaron, you know, I know you guys' hearts. I know you guys are in it to win it. Aaron is a tiger, man. I've seen him. I've seen him in action. He's ready to win big.
I am sick.
And I'm excited for where
It's
we're
going
headed.
in the
So I just
quarantine
wanted to say
Ziploc.
to everybody, the community, and, you know, certainly to the dev team, so much appreciated. And I know we need answers, and I know we're getting them. And so the fact that you guys are willing to show up. And one last thing, recognize this.
Oh my
How powerful
God.
is this? They fly all the way to another country, to Dubai. And how fascinating is this, and how powerful is this, that they fly all the way to Dubai, and the recognition that was specific to Saitama is most transparent. What does that tell you? That just tells you there's nothing to hide. So in an event that's loaded with other companies, loaded with other devs,
I went to Dubai. I came back. What do you
gets
mean?
most transparent. To me, that's reassuring. That's refreshing. I mean, that's refreshing. But at the same time, it's well deserved, because here's where we are right now. Look at our dev team. Look at where they are. They're here with us. We see them. We can talk to them. We can ask them questions. That means there's nothing to hide. So this era,
Yo,
that
Chaka,
we're
we should
in,
meet up.
you know, being this early in Saitama and moving forward, I believe that there's nothing but positivity moving forward. Nothing but greatness moving forward. And I'm just excited to be a part of it. And I hope everybody is too, because we're on a move and it's happening. When we hit the bumps, it's how we respond. It's how we react. That's the difference. That's going to be the separator. So when we see leaders showing up during the tough times, that ought to be that
Max
sign
is
of
gonna
reassurance
bounce.
to know
There's
that
no
you're in the
point
right
in me
place. Trust me,
asking
I've seen
anything.
otherwise. So I appreciate everybody.
Oh my
And
God,
dev
dude, you
team,
asked
you
no
guys rock.
questions.
Appreciate you.
You asked no
Awesome,
questions.
man. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the words of wisdom, Mike. As you guys know, Mike's been around since the beginning, man. So
Imagine doing an AMA and
through
not
all
asking any questions.
the trips and the falls and the stumbles and the good
It's
days
called
and the
Ask
bad days.
Me
So,
Anything.
you know, it takes all kinds, man. It's never ever an easy ride. To
Frustration,
top, man. And I've said it a
Teddy.
million
Simmer
times,
down.
and it's
Simmer
hit me
down,
again
Teddy.
another
Simmer
million
down.
times. If it was easy, everybody would do it, man. You would have
For
so
sure.
many successful crypto projects out there, you wouldn't even know which one to invest in, because they would all be fantastic. But, you know, and there is a lot of good ones out there. Not trying to put any down. It's just, fact of the matter is, it's tough, man. And it's not just in crypto. It's life in general. Anything that's worth taking, anything that's worth having is worth putting that work into. And it always is a struggle, and it's always going to be
yes, I'm still
tough
requested
road
to
the top,
speak.
man. But we'll persevere.
They brought
We'll
me
get
down
there.
once already. They
So
canceled my
we're gonna
request.
hop
I
off,
requested
man. I know
again.
there's probably a few people that have questions that weren't addressed. You know, and we'll get to
There
them.
was
We'll
no
have
questions,
more
bro. The
information
last
put
guy
out
was a
to everybody,
plant.
as it comes to
Oh
light,
my
and we'll
God.
try to
Oh my
gather some more
God.
questions that folks have. And again, maybe do another AMA or put together an FAQ section or do another Twitter space or something like that. But it was important for us to come out and at least not only last night, but
Oh my
again today, as we got some
God.
more information made available to us, and put together
15
an action
minutes of
plan and
fluff
how we're
from
going to
that
start
last guy, bro.
collectively
He
moving
didn't
this thing
say
forward in the
any
right
single
direction, and what we're going to
question.
do to make things, you know, more fundamental and kind of
All
overcoming
right.
some of these
All right.
obstacles that we've been
Wrap
put
it
in front
up.
of us again.
Close the
So
space.
yeah, so we'll gather some more questions from you guys. You know, I say I wish we had hours and hours. We could all come on here until every single last question is answered, but we got, as always, tons of work to do. You know, we've all been at this thing for 8 months, but more specifically for the last like 48 hours. I think Max and I probably both got at least like 2-3 hours of sleep last night, and the rest of the development team, MK, I don't even think he went to bed yet. He's probably still awake from yesterday in the UK. So yeah, so we'll have some more. We'll get some more information as we get it out to you guys. So we'll call it for this one, and we'll look forward to talking to you guys all again soon.
Sorry, Russ, I have one question for Max. Very important question.
Oh,
Please, can you let
let's
me?
go. Let's go.
Yeah, sure, brother. You got to make it quick though.
Okay, thank you, Russ. I just want to say one thing first. You know, this community is 3,000 people. You know, we try to help this project because we love this project. I know this project can grow very good. We trust you, Russ. It doesn't matter what happened. We are with you. You know something, Russ? Yesterday, I wake up. Still, I sleep. I didn't sleep. Every room, every space I was there, you know, to tell people, you know, we are one, we are together, you know, Coke Zero. You can call every name, you know, every people, you know, because we believe in this project. We believe Saitama, it will be a big project next year or this year. I believe that. And we can do it together, Russ. Don't worry. We are here together. We make mistake, we learn our mistake. Very important, you cannot build Rome in one night, Russ. It takes time, it takes years. But the thing is, we must learn our mistake. Yesterday, it was not good, but we're learning. Masks, I have a question for you. Some people, they see, Saitamask wallet, the value in dollar. It is the exact value. Can you tell us?
For Saitamask exact value for the dollar amount, yes.
The Saitareality, I mean, Saitareality value. It's the with dollar with.
Yes, it's the exact dollar amount in the portfolio.
Okay, the last question, Max, for you. So many people that buy very fast. They have 2 trillion, 2 quadrillion. I mean, we are transparency project. You say you block some contract address. Can you show us? You can put it online, every community, because this transparency project, which wallet address is blocked, we can know it. Can you do it, please, for us?
I don't see that being an issue. Obviously, we can talk as a team. Russ, I don't think that's a big problem. We can definitely, even Russ mentioned it at the beginning. Anybody that bought that had more than 5 trillion tokens were blocked with that time frame. So it's about 40 addresses, and we can put that out there. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, and that was last night. We had I don't think there was anybody that was able to buy more than 5 trillion.
I mean, it's pumping right now, the price.
So I know that there is some now that have 20 trillion, 30 trillion or whatever, but the ones that we had blacklisted last night, I think there was about 40, and most of those held like a quadrillion or like 700 trillion. Yeah, I don't have an issue. I mean, we can post that list, I guess, right, of the ones that we had blacklisted, and those ones, reimbursed through Saitamask tokens. So we're not trying to shame them or anything, right? It's nothing on them. It's just that we have to blacklist them to protect the other investors. Nobody wants somebody with 2 quadrillion tokens.
Yes, please hit the like. Don't leave. Don't leave.
Value. So yeah, I mean, we can talk about. I don't have an issue with it if we want to put those blacklisted wallets out and make them public. That's fine. I don't know how those people's wallets or how they would feel.
This is so fake.
Okay, thank you, MK, for you, because today we hear the community very good news. It doesn't matter how good you are, how bad you are, you need help. Max getting help, we are happy. I am happy really, because he need now some IT, to help him. That is good news. Thank you very much, everybody. Community, we are strong. We can win everything. Thank you. Satama Empress, thank you. I love you.
Welcome. Love you too, Yanni.
Hey, Russ, can I ask you a quick 10-second question?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah, Russ, Max, MK, Elon, everybody.
This better be a question.
Appreciate you, Russ. Quick question. OKEX, the exchange.
Oh my God.
I know it's not open to America, but can we
what's up, Eddie?
be part of the 5,000 people to help get listed, or is that for only people that are in the other 100 countries besides?
No, so there's a way to do it for people in the U.S. and I put it out there. You can utilize through like VPN, or there's a clone app that's out there that you guys can, utilize too. So look on my page. I had retweeted instructions for people that live in the U.S. that want to participate and get us on there. Yeah, so it's a good exchange. They got a ton of volume, and it's a good opportunity for us. So I can even go on my page when I get off this call, and I'll pin it to the top for you guys. It's an instruction list on how to do it step by step for folks that are in the U.S. too, because a lot of our investor pool is from the United States. So if you can't KYC because you live in the U.S., and just utilize that VPN. So I'll tag it to my profile, and you guys can go.
If you can't KYC because of the United States, utilize the VPN.
What's the timeline to get those 5,000?
I think it ends today or this evening for us, so sooner the better. So if you haven't done it and on this call, do us a favor and go over there to do that. I've actually asked some developers from some other tokens to give us a hand and help participate as well. In this space, we got to look out for one another, and I communicate with a lot of developers from different projects. I offer mentorship to new developers that I feel that is going to contribute to the space. It's good. We got to help each other out. So I've reached out to some of these other development teams and said, hey, can you put it out to your community to help us, get some of these listings, to have some of your folks deposit $10 at Saitama on there to OKEX to help us out. And then, you know, when it comes back, when they need some help, you know, we can also activate our community and say, hey, these guys are here for us and help us out in this listing. Let's help them out. That's what we got to do, and that's what's going to make crypto successful. Is to, you know, all these promising these projects that are legit and they want to, you know, succeed just like we do, to help them get to that point, because we're all going to win. We're all in the same boat together, man. We should all want everybody to win, and not just in crypto, but in life, man. It's so easy to hate on people that succeed and bring people down that don't, you know. That's not the way it should work, man. You got to always be there to pick each other up. That's my motto, and I try to live by that, man. Karma, I believe in it, and, you know, treating people as you wish to be treated yourself is something that we should all, you know, try to do and attempt to do, at least, because you know, that's what it's about. We're only here once, and just make the best of it. So but yeah, I'll put it at the top.
Hey Russ, Matt, real quick, just in the essence of time, could you guys give me a follow? I don't want to take up anybody's time.
Don't do it. Don't
Please.
follow him.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Okay, well, can I slide a question in, please?
Hold on.
I was before you, gentlemen. Give me just a moment. I have a very quick response. I'm sorry, request. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can.
Hi, Trina.
Hi, Empress. My deepest gratitude to the entire development team and Wolfpack family. Just a really quick request going forward, because I know we're gonna have exclusive launches going forward. I'm super excited about it. Maybe we can move more covertly in the future on them, and then also communication check-ins on the major Saitama Inu page. I believe that most people just need that reassurance. Like the technical high-level explanation and clarity is awesome, but just regular communication check-ins from the Saitama official page going forward, just to reassure the community so their minds and their imagination doesn't go places it shouldn't go. That's it. Thank you. I yield.
Yeah, no, you know, I try to come out with people. It's difficult too, because we don't want to put information. We don't want to just keep repeating the same information. Like we have to make sure that we have all the information and everything is in check with and in line with what we're trying to do, and we have all the information to put out to you guys. Because the last thing we want to do is put out some information and then have it backfire. Like put out information like, oh, we're gonna be, you know, we should be good to go in 10 minutes, or we've done this to mitigate this problem, because maybe another problem arises, right? Like 10 minutes later, and then I don't know. It's cause and effect.
Yeah. What I mean, Russ. You know how like people are on hold with the IRS for 4 hours, and every 5 minutes they come on and say, "Thank you for your patience. Thank you for holding. We're working very, very hard to make sure we get to our next customers in queue." That's what I meant. Just something super simple.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, I mean, we do something like that. Like
okay, that'd be awesome. Thank you so much for all that you do for us.
Okay, yeah, no worries. We'll
sorry,
take into consideration.
All right, sorry, Ross. I know you gotta leave, and I was accepted at the last minute.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have enough time. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
yes, we can.
I know you gotta go, and I know you guys have things to do. Don't you mind, like?
Yet they still don't put me up.
You and let you know what I want to talk, and I don't want to take you more time, and I'm gonna let you go. If you don't worry about that, just give me a photo so I can DM you. That's fine.
Yeah, I give you a follow, man. And I just so you know, like if I don't get back to you right away, don't take offense, man. I get like no exaggeration, 500
out. There we go.
So it's hard for me to get to, but I do try to get back to everybody at some point or another. A lot of times it gets lost between the tracks, but this space is also recorded too. So you guys that missed it or came in late, you know, feel free to check it out when we end here. So, but yeah, so we gotta get back to work. Let Max get back to his team and give some guidance so we can start moving this action plan forward. So, but as we get more information, we'll give it out.
Hey, just moonshots in here,
and then you know we'll kind of regurgitate some things and put it out to you and take all the questions that we missed and make sure that we answer them in a timely fashion and get back to you guys. So, thanks for everyone that's coming out, and yeah, and we're on it, man. We're on it. We're here for you, and we're gonna do better. So that's our vouch to you guys, and that's all we can do. So I appreciate you guys. And,
hit the like, hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. Yo, guys, seriously,
thank you.
Oh my God! All right, cool. We're done. We're done. We're done. Oh God, what was that? What was I just listening to? Why are they saying all these crazy numbers? Like, there's real tech people that listen to you guys, and you can't be throwing numbers like we 10x our scalability, we 100x our scalability. In the coming weeks, we're gonna hit 300x to 500x of scalability. And the other things that were mentioned was they use serverless, right? So we're going to look at serverless as well. Serverless is the idea that you're not paying for a server sitting in the cloud, and you're not paying 24/7 for that server to run. So serverless technology, you only get billed at the time of execution on that server. So if you have a code and it runs on the server, that's the only time you're billed on that execution of that code. So what they relatively said in this AMA is we have like, I don't care about all the people that ask questions. All those questions were fluff. There was nothing technical except for old guy David. He was the true G in that chat asking those real questions. I wish he would have followed up, but regardless, they said they are on serverless computing, right? Serverless computing. Let's go look at this because Amazon gives you everything. You don't have to try and guess. So there's Amazon API Gateway, right? So Amazon API Gateway, 1 million API calls are received free. So the numbers that they have spit out are 1 second, let me see here. 14,000 connections a second. They've also spit out 100,000, thousands upon thousands, 100,000 and thousands upon thousands of people trying to access Saitamask. These are real numbers. I'm not making these numbers up for anybody, but this is API simultaneously with API Gateway, allowing you to quickly iterate, test, and release new versions. You pay for calls made to your APIs and the data transfer out, and there are no minimum fees or upfront commitments. Performance at any scale. So this is from serverless, right? From serverless, I'm showing you their API Gateway. Most of the ways that this works is you have AWS Lambda or you have Amazon EC2, and you're doing some sort of a trigger function that goes to Amazon and API Gateway so you can get the data. So here we are. Here's the web and mobile applications, right? They use Amazon API Gateway. In the backend, they've said they're using serverless. So that, to me, is AWS Lambda, which you execute code on there, it returns you code. So now I've shown you this performance is at any scale. Provide end users with the lowest possible latency. Latency meaning speed, the speed that it takes to connect to you. So is that in milliseconds? Is that in seconds, right? These are the things. But also they use edge locations, which means Amazon CloudFront, and they can throttle traffic. So this is something they said, hey, we had to increase our rates. We made it 10x. We made it 100x. Guys, I am assuming, so there are assumptions before I even am telling you guys this, right? I'm assuming, yes, they're on AWS. Yes, they're using serverless. And more specifically, they're using API Gateway and either a Lambda or an EC2. And right now, I'm leaning more towards Lambdas because of the rate restrictions that they're talking about. Hey, we've upped certain services. And what it is a microservices architecture. Microservices architecture, Russ described it to you guys as, oh my God, I feel like I'm going so high level and I'm just spitting things just to spit things that I know this stuff. But regardless, sub-services is what he called it. But really what it is, it's a microservice of service-oriented architecture. A microservice is the idea that you have one place to grab every single connection, like login, registration, whatever it may be. It's all in one place, and they branch it out to sub-services or microservices, right? So you can do all of this in API Gateway. What I don't get is there is no limitation from Amazon itself, but they talked about an infrastructure change. So if I think infrastructure change, you're already using Amazon API Gateway. It's going to be super simple for them to add servers into a serverless architecture. The reason I say that is there is what they call tiered models, right? So tiered pricing model for API with an API request as low as 90 cents per million. Guys, this is the cost. So he said, hey, we don't have time to give Max $15 million and have as many servers as he needs. Well, look at this. 1 million API requests is 90 cents. 1 million. That is a lot of zeros. So, 6 zeros before the 1 is 90 cents. So let's assume that Android, Apple users, so 50,000 Android users, let's be optimistic, 70,000, 120,000 potential requests at any given time. So I sign into the app. I've already shown you that, hey, in this model, how API Gateway works, we can ingest. Amazon can ingest everything. There's no issue with expanding networks, normalizing servers. There's none of that. There's no servers. They're using serverless. They said it in the AMA, right? So if they're doing that, how can you say that you need to do an infrastructure change, right? The other thing, if you guys remember, 3 AMAs ago, they even said they have their own mempool. They have their own mempool, which means that any of those transactions that haven't been taken up by the blockchain mempools, right? They made their own mempool for unverified transactions. So literally, they've done everything they need to do to ingest the volume, Now, where my brain goes to is, that was all fluff. Everything they've told me, like in my personal opinion, I'm not even trying to fuck them. I'm talking AWS API Gateway as a whole, how they handle infrastructure, how applications are made in the cloud, right? So this web app, mobile application goes through Amazon API Gateway. This is the point where I'm making server calls out. I get the list of tokens listed. I get the swap transactions. Everything is fed through Amazon API Gateway. The end goal for Max and developers is to make sure that APK or that iOS package is on your phone and you can connect to the Amazon API Gateway. So with all this information, like I'm thinking tech stack, they have built the tech stack. The issue is not Amazon. The issue is not the servers. The issue is not putting a 10x, 100x. There's no such thing. There's no such thing in Amazon where I can go type in 300 times the amount of servers and then boom, I can ingest all the traffic. If you already 10x Amazon's, which they can handle 1 million API requests in a single second at 1,000x throttle rate, like you're like, wait a second, there's no way these numbers can be true. Even if they did 500x, even if they did 300x, the issue is not this. Amazon is not the issue. Fight me. I will go to you. I will fight you if you try to tell me Amazon's the issue here. I do not believe it is. Now, the interesting, they said immediately after all this fluff about, hey, it's the servers, we need more scalability, they talked about 14,000 connections a second. 14,000 connections a second, which is a limit on the blockchain, which means it's a limit on the Ethereum blockchain. So let's step back. How many swaps do you guys use? Now, the real question is Uniswap, who is also using a swap, their own liquidity pool, using that blockchain, are they having 14,000 connections a second? In my eyes, yes, Uniswap is having 14,000 connections a second because Saitamask is less. This is a new competitor in the field. You're trying to build up volume here. So you're going to have less transactions than Uniswap. If you start telling me that Uniswap is doing less than Saitamask, I'm walking away because in my eyes, in my mind, you're throwing fluff at me. If you flat out tell me that Uniswap, which uses the same exact blockchain as Saitamask, is having 14,000 connections a second and it can handle it and Saitamask can't, that is not an issue with the blockchain. You now have two problems. You either one, I mean, oh my God, I can't even, it just feels so wrong. That's the problem. I need to read some of these comments. There's no point in me talking about this. I'm literally, so Teddy, are you agreeing that AMA seemed like an act? Yes, it definitely felt weird. Like a lot of the numbers they were saying is just that. Teddy, oh, yo, let's go check the so the entire time I was checking the candlestick. I mean, it looked good. There was a point where it like went down, but it's gone right back up. So it seems like people are eating up. They love the AMA, so that's fine. I mean, in the end, that's their goal. See, here we go. It's pumping as we speak. I'm on the 4 hour. Let me go to the 1 minute here. 1 minute. All right, where'd you go? I'm sorry, I'm just making the 1 minute chart. So it looks like they're eating it up. So yeah, so these are things that like you have to think about it from a tech standpoint. And you're like, wait a second, there's no way you're doing more traffic than Uniswap. For you to get to 14,000 connections a second, set limits to you to get to 10x, 100x, and they even use the limit of 120 M I'm not sure what that limit was talking about. I don't know if they're having issues with the scalability of the infrastructure, but these are just things. The other thing they also validated is their router and their factory is deployed. So whatever is being used for Saitamask in the backend, the router and factory is deployed. And then Faltron brought up a hacker that potentially exposed their router contract, did some functions, was able to remove liquidity and go and put that liquidity in the Tornado thing, right? Tornado is a platform where it can discreetly give you back what you need in the wallet that you intended to land in. But that was a vulnerability that Max touched on, and he called it an arbitrage. Regardless, I don't care what you call it. It's a vulnerability. That vulnerability was exposed, and it sounds like they've addressed that from the way that they've talked about it. But still very bad, you know, that it was a hacker that brought it up. But the same thing can happen to any project. And in that case, what you should do when these hackers do this is reach out to the hackers. Usually they don't have bad intentions. Their goal is not to screw you for their money. Most of the time it's like, hey, you got a vulnerability. Please address this. This is what I would do. And they're very nice guys. I'm a hacker myself. I don't have a bad bone in my body where I purposely try to hurt someone. But if you give me an opportunity to hack something or let me at it, I'm a try. And then if I find a vulnerability, I let the people know. I'm like, bro, look at this. You didn't do incognito tab, bro. Come on. I got all your information. No, I'm just kidding. But like, these are the types of things that I go through in my mind. So like, I hear the arbitrage narrative being told to me. I listen to it, but in the end, they probably had an issue with the contract, whether it was the factory contract or the router contract. They probably made the updates because even old guy David, he touched on it, talked about the function changes that happened and how they let it happen themselves. So old guy David's smart enough to go look at these contracts and go, yo, no, you changed this 19 hours ago. Don't even tell me this, right? So many points were touched on. I'm glad they stood up there, they listened to it, they ingested the information. It's exactly, and as you guys know, if you're a leader in a token, the first thing is Russ didn't walk away. He's still there. He's still talking about it. Yes, they are definitely having issues with Saitamask and not Saitamask as in they can't swap. They've already proven to us that they can do swaps, that they can list coins, that coins on the Ethereum blockchain they're able to swap with. But what they haven't proven is that they can do exclusive listings. And I think there are issues there with that exclusiveness. And maybe they'll get to a point where they're just like, screw it. We know we can do this with Uniswap. So let's just make Saitareality Uniswap, Lucky Roo Uniswap, and they get through it. But I'm hoping they don't, because it would be nice to see the exclusiveness of a coin being on Saitamask and see how much that coin pumps or dumps, because that is an area I haven't seen yet, especially in the Wolfpack community. So that's what's going through my head. I missed a lot of comments. I'm sorry if I missed. I'm literally talking because I think all these things and I don't know how to relay them to people. So I just have to think about it and tell you guys how I feel. That's exactly how my brain works. Teddy, you badass guy. People need to start learning from you, and the Wolfpack need to wake up. I mean, I just want to help them. I will do it for free. Literally get me in there. Show me your infrastructure. Show me choke points on the infrastructure. You're telling me you did a load test. That's what it is, the limit. They did a load test of 120 million agents. If you did a load test of 120 million agents and none of the infrastructure had a choke point, and now you're telling me 14,000 connections a second is your choke point on the blockchain, I'm going to disagree, because Uniswap, which uses the exact same things in theory, they're using API calls, they're using a liquidity pool, they're using the same blockchain as everyone else. Why aren't they having that issue? Let's get Teddy 5 more likes. I don't even know how many likes I'm at, but please hit the like before you leave. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm dying. I'm sweating. It's crazy. I probably do have to go soon, but let me quickly go through these comments. But that's exactly how I feel, guys. Like, this is, oh my God. Oh my God, I am a sweaty boy. Hey, boy. I'm sorry. The crypto future, they said they are getting 170 plus steps. So this is another thing. They said, hey, Remember, a long time ago, we flat out asked Russ, hey, we are not offshoring this. All of our developers are on site. And I flat out looked at you guys in this camera and I said, that is the most idiotic thing ever. I am in this space. I am a technology guy in this space. If you don't have an offshoring group, if you don't have a dedicated team that's ready to like be your worker bee, right? This whole on-site developers don't work. I literally have worked with tokens where they're like, hey, we lost our main dev. Hey, we lost the second main dev that we had, and now our project is at a standstill. That is the worst feeling. That is a feeling because these guys get so overwhelmed with tech that they can't keep up. So what do? You do offshoring. It is a necessity in this field. If you don't offshore your work, if you don't have worker bees just doing the single typing type of work, you're going to get overwhelmed. It's going to be a lot to take on. So I've been with the managed services model where you have an on-site coordinator and all your work is offshore, because even if they lose an offshore guy in India, there's so many technology guys in the Philippines, in South Africa, in Japan, China, Russia, all these guys, Ukraine, they all have tech guys that like literally this is their technology. You take out one Angular guy, hey, we need another Angular guy. Boom. It's instantly replaced. There's no downtime there. They don't have time to like be like, hey guys, stop everything. We need to go fix this. Right? They continue on. They do the grunt work. They do that work and they continue to. So I was very happy to hear from Manny the Hitman about the 170 plus 210 offshoring partners. So 170 blockchain developers. I also don't believe those numbers, 170 blockchain developers. As you guys know, I'm now CTO of Shibnobi. Blockchain development is a new environment, a new space that's opening up. Not many developers out there know blockchain. As we learned that developers know blockchain, I've been recruiting them to my team. Even in the last 3 months, the max I've recruited is probably 25 people. The fact that they already have 170 people, those numbers seem crazy because the market is very, very hard. It's very hard to find somebody in blockchain development. When you do, that's it. You're picking them up, you're bringing them onto the team, you're KYCing them. And in India, it's so much easier because they give you their Aadhaar card, their PAN card, their home address. That you literally have families upon families. That's like, bro, you try to run, you got nowhere to run. I got you. You got nowhere to run. Unless, black market, they do all this. But I listened to the 170 and 210. I'm very happy to hear that I think is the right thing. I personally, I believe they should have done that in the beginning, just like you're saying, Ismail. So very happy to hear that about that. They put me on the blacklist because I have 30 trillion. Yo, Kenny Vibe, thank you for the $2 donation. I hope it's not true, but the blacklist thing. And then Max said, he's like, oh, we'll try to return some of the money, while Russ said we're going to return all of the money in Saitama tokens. So I'm not sure which is true, but that definitely was interesting. Only could talk shit about Russ. It's okay. Russ and team. Lily Finance is the future. I mean, Lily Finance looking real good right now. I may have to eventually, when it comes on that dip, I may have to buy in. I don't know if it ever will. But after listening to Saitama, I mean, yeah, guys, okay, fine. Keep it going. But Lily Finance, I'm feeling 100% on right now. But I just need to know what their catalyst is, because right now they are uptrending. So they just reached outside the Bollinger Band. I'll wait for the dump again. And that's a constant pattern, right? So if you bought out here in the 3s, you would have sold in the 5s. Same thing happened already. 3s sold in the 5s. Like, history repeats itself. So I look at Bollinger Bands as a way. And I know T Hobbs, the crypto shop, 100% been watching his videos. If you guys need technical analysis, please hit him up. Watch his stuff, because he was one of the original guys that reached out to me in my DMs. Was like, Teddy, stop using trend lines. Stop doing this. Do it this way. Do this. Do that. So 100% respect. If you guys are looking for technical analysis, that's what I would do. Did Saitareality launch? Lol, just JK. These guys are never meant to have a working app. They get money and your taxes and can't get away from it. Haha, it's a joke. Guys, 126 of you here. I hope there's 120 plus likes. I'd be so sad if there wasn't. Safe Wallet looking good. Yes, it is. Yes, it is indeed. Hinal Patel, let me see what you said, buddy. This Saitama is a shit show. They have no idea what they're doing, and they're getting help. They should have gotten help from India in the day one. Day one, Manny the Hitman should have been like, Russ, let me tell you something. Me, Indian good IT good. I hate to put Manny the Hitman like that, but like, you know, I'm looking at this as a third party. I have zero investment in Saitama whatsoever. But like, if I was Manny the Hitman and I knew I had like 170 blockchain devs, bro, I'd be like, Russ, listen. This is a real model that IT companies follow. No one is doing this in-house. There is no IT company out there. Even Silicon Valley, bro. Even Silicon Valley, there's no single IT company out there that has all their devs on site in a single place. That is just crazy. That is just crazy. So I'm very happy to hear that they're doing the 170. I hope it sounds like they signed an NDA, but if I can poke into that company, I have a company in India too. I'm like, yo, what's happening? What company are you? Dude, Indian guys, they all network. They all know each other. Like, this is a thing that happens. I wouldn't be surprised if one of my guys goes, hey, we figured out the Saitama offshore company. It's something technologies. And then I'll be like, yo, let's go hit them up, contract. And then you do a subcontract. You know, these are things that happen very well in the IT space, where you find out that most of your dev is always made by the same team when it comes to certain architectures, like web scraping, right? Web scraping is a big thing, but there's only a few tech groups out there that can do web scraping. All right, I'm definitely dying. I probably shouldn't. Teddy, shouldn't late. Red Sox, every stream I've been in, you keep saying you're late, bro. It kills me because you are late. Why are you late? Why is... Oh, wait, I'm not listening to anything. Why do I do this to myself? Why are you late? Why are you late? I hope Russ likes my tweets. I hope he likes your tweets too. Dude, I'm sweating up a storm here, buddies. I don't know what's going on. Probably have to get some more medicine in me. What time is it? 8? Wait, how long have I been streaming for? It feels like it's only been like an hour. 2 hours, 40 minutes? Are you kidding me? Has it really been that long? Oh my God, is my wife upset? Well, she hasn't said anything. So 142 likes, guys. I appreciate that a lot. I think I am going to wrap it up. I know Rodney's going to go live relatively soon. I'm sure there's other people live right now. Let me just check so I can herd the sheep. Guys, go watch this guy. He's been live. Oh, 107 watching. Yo, it's yeah. No, I don't see anybody else live. Okay, well, you're stuck in limbo till somebody. And eventually, I do have to go through all my comments. Maybe I'll do it on stream so you guys can see how exactly I respond to comments and stuff. So I got a lot to do. It's weeks and weeks of comments. I'm screwed. 8 days. Oh God, where is the end? Is there an end? 9 days. Oh my God, I'm so behind. I'm literally going to respond to every single one of these. So I'm going to do it on stream so you guys see me suffer. I mean, not suffer, appreciate. So you guys see me appreciate. Yo, this is so much. 10 days. Oh my God. And you know, I've been keeping up with the comments so well. And then all of a sudden I went to Dubai and it was all over. You guys went crazy. Okay, I think we're near the end here. Oh my God, we're not 2 weeks ago. Oh, I hit the end 1 month ago. Yeah. All right, we'll see. All right, guys, I appreciate you. I am becoming a hat guy. I'm not even trying to. This hair is real. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. There's no toupee under here. I even had Cliff try to yank my hair, and he's like, yeah, that's real Teddy. There's no toupee there. He's like, Cliff, did you really know my name was Teddy Toupee by the Wolfpack? And he's like, yeah, you're also Squarehead Teddy too. I'm like, damn it. Cliff knows everything. He's much more in tune than we think. Yeah, she's upset. What the hell? There she is. All right, so wife is upset. Gotta put out some fires. Maybe I'm gonna have to take some pills or something. But regardless, oh man, what am I saying? Regardless, yeah, she's upset. She's always watching, boys. This is my wife, Lively Boyd, watching, lurking. All right, guys, I do need to go to the recording. They said they're going to pay back people for lost transactions of gas fees. That clip. $50 donation. Check out the Banana Task Force Ape launching in a week. Looks bullish. Bro, tell me a website. I'll check it out. Banana Task. Is Banana Task Force Ape teaming up with PLNT? Because PLNT got the bananas, bro. Banana Task Force Ape. Oh, already got Cloudflare DDoS protection. Yo, what? Ganja Goons. Yo, I wish, I don't know. I guess I could leak it. In theory, I'm not in a NDA with them. So let me see. I got a preliminary design for the Ganja Goons. Let me see. Yeah, don't hate me. Don't hate me. All right, can I show this? I can show this. Preliminary design for the Teddy Ganja Goons. Teddy Ganja's Ganja Goons gang got a little goon himself here with some type of crypto apparatus that he's inhaling. A bunch of cryptos in the back, still no color, and this thing here is a Shivalingam. So this is a brand that I'm working with. The designer appears very knowledgeable, so I like how it came out. I may do a t-shirt or hat or something, but I can literally use this emblem anywhere. So looking into that 100%. So guys, hopefully that's something to look forward to. And then who was it? Banana Task Force. It sounds like I'll have to do some research on this next one, but you look very interesting. Already, I like the animation style. I like the crypto smoking apparatus. 3Gs, roll it up into your crypto future. 3Gs, G. Oh, Flu's trade, yep, how to buy. Wait, so is this pre-sale? Is this already launched? Private sale. Yeah, none of these have check marks. So public pre-sale is coming. So I'll have a public pre-sale. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm dying. All right, cool. I will leave you be. I haven't checked this out. I literally, some guy donated to me and I'm looking at it now. But sounds like there's a public pre-sale coming. I'll have to try it out. Just Moonshot is completely compromised. I was part of the community way before they launched TARP. Russ helped them with their project at the beginning. I mean, Just Moonshot even came out on Chad Redding's live stream and said their dev team is the Saitama dev team. So, hey, now they have 170 blockchain developers to help them out. So I'm feeling, put it on a hat. Yeah, put it on a hat. That logo is sick. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, let's go Ganja Goons. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I thought it was good too. I think we will be happy with that logo. So I'm glad you guys like it. So hopefully stuff coming out soon. And I will catch you guys. Roll up 3Gs. That's a fatty. That's a fatty indeed. A fatty for our future, bro. A fatty for our future. Guys, I will catch you later. I appreciate every single one of you. I still haven't responded to any of the comments, so don't go crazy in the comments. But I will eventually. I'll make a stream and I'll just respond to comments. You can chill with me as I respond to comments. But thanks for watching. I will catch you later.